gentlemen, you're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
It is a beautiful evening here in New York City. The place looks great, ready for a great baseball game. And there's a lot of stars on the field, I'll tell you that. One of the stars is on the Yankees side, Curtis Granderson. A home run yesterday. He has 21 tied with Jose Bautista for the Major League lead. And on the other side, there's the reigning MVP in the American League, Josh Hamilton. Not too bad. Kia Motors presents the Wednesday Game of the Week. Tonight, the New York Yankees against the Texas Rangers in the middle game of a 3-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball. Along with Al Leiter and Paul O'Neill, I'm Michael Kay. Yankees beat up with the Rangers last night. They put a 12 spot on the board, and once again, the home run was key. It's been for most of the season.
Well, it's been a long homestand, and the balls have been flying out. Nick Swisher's been swinging the bat right-handed pretty well all year. He hit his 6th home run last night, but 4 home runs in the last 6 days for Curtis Granderson. You almost come to the ballpark expecting this. He's had a great homestand. And Al Leiter and I warned this guy, do not throw Robbie Cano down and in when you've just backed it up. And boom, his 13th of the night of the year. Robbie Cano joined in too.
I'll tell you what, 3 more home runs for the Yankees, and they're far and away the leaders in Major League Baseball as a team. 98 home runs. Next up, the Diamondbacks with 78. You do the math. They have 20 more than the second-place team. Let's look at tonight's New York Lottery pitching matchup. The young left-hander Derek Holland will go for Texas, 5-1, 4.41. The young right-hander for the Yankees, Ivan Nova, 5-4 with a 4.30 ERA. No stranger to the Texas Rangers is Nova.
No, he's not. He's coming off a nice start against the Indians, but this goes back to May 6th down in Texas. I'll tell you, when Nova has movement, a great defense early in this game, ended up going 7 1/3, 1 run. It was an earned run. Nice play by Robbie Cano. When he's down in the zone and his curveball slider's working, he gets a lot of ground balls. He had 17 ground balls that night. What an effective pitcher he is when he gets that curveball down the zone and moving that fastball in and out.
Yankees would like another start like that again. Hey, you can't talk enough about Curtis Granderson. Since last August, he's a different player. Paul O'Neill is going to try to explain why when we return on segment 2 next. Against the Rangers, middle game of a 3-game set. Check out Curtis Granderson. Since August 14th, that's 111 games from last year. He averages 271. He's had 35 homers. Remember, his career high 30 in one season. This is in 111 games, 84 ribbies, and in his last 6 games, even hotter, 458, 4 homers, and 10 runs batted in. Welcome back to Yankees baseball, everybody. You know Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael K. Al Leiter will rejoin us in just a moment. Paul, August 14th, he turned into a different player. What happened?
Well, he has made some adjustments. There's no doubt about it. And everybody talks about pretty small bat we got working here, right? Everybody talks about his one arm usage. Now he's two armed. The big thing to me, especially against left-handed hitters or pitchers, is that front shoulder. That front shoulder is so square to the pitcher now. He doesn't pull off the ball. He's confident that he can get to that inside pitch without opening up, and I think that's a difference in his hitting.
How much does confidence play in? Because now he feels like he could do it.
Oh, it's huge. You can tell the difference. If you saw his attitude early April last year and now, it's like two different players. I mean, it's like he's running to the batter's box.
Yeah, and why wouldn't you? He's been great. So he's batting number 2 in the Yankee lineup. And when we get back, we'll tell you everything going on with both lineups. First pitch and baseball. Right here, Yankees against the Rangers. Game 2 of a 3-game set on Yes. Is brought to you in part by Jaguar. See how Jaguar outperforms the competition at JaguarPerforms.com. By Grey Goose, the world's best tasting vodka. And by Honda. See your Honda dealer and discover the great values now being offered. Well, summer's returned here to the Bronx after a couple of semi-cool days. It's kind of hot and humid today, but a beautiful day for a baseball game. Not too many clouds tonight. Right now, no clouds in the sky. Crowd filing in to see Game 2 of the Yankees and the Texas Rangers. It's a 3-game set. Let's take a look at the Rangers starting lineup, which is presented by our good friends at Avis. Ian Kinsler at second base leads off, batting second, and playing shortstop Elvis Andrus. Josh Hamilton in left field will hit third. Cleaning up the DH, Michael Young. Adrian Beltre at third base, he'll bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing right field, Nelson Cruz. Mitch Moreland at first base will bat seventh. Yorvi Torrealba is going to catch, he's going to bat eighth. And batting ninth and playing center field is Andy Chavez. And on the mound for the Yankees, it's Ivan Nova.
Ivan Nova making his 13th start of the year. He's had 14 appearances, 1 out of the 10. Nice start against the Indians, a win. Had a big lead, leaving after 11-2, 7 innings. Respectable ERA, 4.3. Let's take a look at the Jeep pitcher scatter report. No free passes, only 6 leadoff walks to start an inning of 111 batters. Going right after him. No fly zone. Mentioned his last start against the Texas Rangers, 17 ground ball outs. He's got the highest percentage of ground balls for Yankee starters, 53%. And contact made, a lot of contact, fouls or fair balls opposing major league hitters, 86.7%. Puts the ball in play and they make contact. A put away pitch, that curveball and slider down the dirt.
Ivan Nova is ready, so is Ian Kinsler. Now let's do it here in the Bronx. Line drive, a base hit to left field. 1 pitch and a single for Kinsler.
Wow, 1 pitch, we've got contact. The only problem is we've got a guy on first base if you're a Yankee fan.
Let's take a look at the Yankee defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Andrew Jones in left, Curtis Granderson in center, Nick Swisher over in right. Swisher, by the way, is leading off for the Yankees today. Infield, Ramiro Pena, A-Rod's the DH. Eduardo Nunez still filling in for the injured Derek Jeter. Robinson Cano at second, Teixeira at first. Cervelli still behind the plate, and Ivan Nova is on the mound. Here is Elvis Andrus. So Nova quickly working out of the stretch. And there's a strike.
You haven't put contact in play. It says, the fact that he does throw a lot of strikes, a few walks, not too many. He's at 29 walks in the 67 innings. Not great, but average. It's a put-away pitch, 0-2-1-2. Make sure you expand the zone. His curveball, Paul, when it's on, I like it. It's a plus pitch.
Definitely a different pitcher when he has this good curveball. Is that a pitch you know warming up you're going to have, or do you have to wait till you go take them out?
I always thought that it's either way, but you get a feel because it's a field pitch off your fingertips that early on you kind of know whether it's coming out of your hand all right.
Shows bunt, takes high, 1-1.
The only problem with Nova, when you're a pitcher with two breaking balls, and he does, he'll throw a little slider and a big curveball. There's a different way in throwing it. Where your curveball, you're trying to take considerable velocity off, and your fastball is basically, your slider is basically a fastball that cuts, or has a power breaking ball. So you kind of get caught in between. That's the only danger of having two types of breaking balls.
I loved it as a hitter when they kind of mixed together and they just hung right over the plate.
Slurve.
Those were good.
Runner goes, pitch out, it's high, throw to second, it goes into center field. So a stolen base for Kinsler, he stays put. And that was not a great pitch out for Cervelli to handle.
Well, you know what happens, Michael, there's no doubt about it. You get the pitch out sign, you try not to rush, he gives a regular kick and obviously got underneath it. Not a good pitch out at all. Cervelli trying to make something out of it. See this ball, he's having to jump out of the way. Now he's going to rush his throw, get his feet underneath him. Robinson Cano couldn't stop it. No harm, no foul. Kinsler didn't go to third.
Another thing that you think about could be happening is Cervelli has thrown 3 or 4 balls into center field in this homestand, and every once in a while those things kind of get into your head. And again, you said that you did not advance, but as a player you start thinking about things. And Tony Pena, we saw him the other day, had him out before batting practice, working on his release, keeping that front shoulder closed.
Well, if there's someone can help him, Tony Pena. He's a guy, a Gold Glover, one of the best arms behind the home plate, Tony Pena.
The 2-2. 3-2. Tonight's closed captioning brought to you by Verizon Wireless. Opponents hitting .233 against Nova this year with runners in scoring position.
The Texas Rangers, I mean, they have guys who run. Kinsler had some injuries last year, didn't run as much. In 2009 had over 30 stolen bases, so they do use speed as part of their offense.
And he walked him. So quick trouble here for Nova. First and second, nobody out, and the reigning MVP, Josh Hamilton, coming to the plate. Now Nova's allowed 5 home runs this year. They've all been to left-handed batters.
Hamilton yesterday 0 for 4, has not done nearly what he did last year, the MVP season. Ended up breaking his arm on a fluky play, tagging up from third base. Got some time on the DL.
Pitch outside.
Seldom do you see Josh Hamilton look like he was kind of overmatched by a fastball, and there were a few counts in fastball counts last night with CC Sabathia on the mound that he just threw that fastball by him. And again, Josh Hamilton, one of the premier hitters in the league. Just don't see it very often.
1-0. And now Cervelli wants to talk with Ivan Nova. Now Hamilton, obviously a checkered career, missed a lot of the beginning of his career because of drugs. First overall pick by Tampa Bay in '99, but since coming back, rehabbing, 3-time All-Star, won the MVP last year. Look at those numbers, and was the ALCS MVP against the Yankees, and they walked him a lot in that series as well. But the thing that really hurts his legacy, out of baseball for 3 years, 04, 05, and 06. Had demons that he couldn't beat, but he finally did beat them after 3 years, and he never really beat them. He just hold them off, and he's done a good job of that since 06. Runners go. Grounded through for a base hit. Kinsler will score. Andrews will move to third. It's an RBI single for Hamilton, and the Rangers have a quick run and a 1-0 lead.
You see how good of a hitter Josh Hamilton is right there. I mean, runners in motion. I don't know if it's a hit and run or if you see a hole, but he intentionally shot that ball in the hole. It's a good piece of hitting. That's why you drive in runs as a hitter. You don't always have to hit home runs. Texas is off and running here in the first inning.
Wow. Think of that right there. That looked like a hit and run to me. 2-0 count. Nova, yes, he's spraying the ball around. You got a guy that can handle the bat to force the defense there, opening up the left side. Nice piece of hitting.
That broke an 0-for-8 slide by Hamilton. Ron Washington's team has a lead. And there's Michael Young. This could be a double play. There's one. On to first. Not in time. Run will score. And the Rangers have a 2-0 lead on the Young force out.
Ball just wasn't hit hard enough. You see Nunez a little shuffle, a little bit too much air time between that shuffle. I think if it was a little bit quicker of a crisp shuffle pass to Robinson Cano, he'd gotten Michael Young. See, got in there safely by a step.
Here's Adrian Beltre. 8-game hitting streak for him. During that time, he's 12 for 29. Grounded softly to third. The play is made by Pena. Moving to second is Young.
You see every once in a while Adrian Beltre looks like he makes up his mind that he's going to try to hit a home run, try to pull a pitch. That ball over left on the outside corner. Still tried to pull it. Easy ground ball to third base.
I think this ball you don't really see on TV, but there's late movement there. What you're saying, Paul, you can see the hips opening way up. There's no doubt about it. He, along with this guy right here, when they think swing, it's open up and pull.
Breaking ball laid in there for a strike to Nelson Cruz. Cruz 2 hits in his last 18 at bats.
The old bail and whale theory.
At times, I don't know if you did it, but I think that you guys get caught up in that home run swing. You know, not really a 2-strike approach, which is really what's happened with Nelson Cruz. Dangerous on the inside part of the plate. Yes, he'll carry a ball to right center field, but his swing is center to left field. Don't miss with a high fastball in your hand.
The 0-2, swing and a miss. So a nice recovery by Ivan Nova. But 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors, 1 man left. Texas 2, and the Yankees coming back. That with their starting lineup presented by Bank of America. This is a little bit of a different lineup, especially against the left-hander. Nick Swisher's going to lead off. He'll play right. Batting second, playing center field, Curtis Granderson. Mark Teixeira's at first base, hitting third. Alex Rodriguez DHs today, cleans up. Batting fifth, playing second base, Robinson Cano. Now it gets interesting. Andrew Jones at left, Eduardo Nunez at short, Francisco Cervelli is the catcher, and Ramiro Pena is the third baseman. And I don't know if that bottom of the order is engendering a lot of fear, but anything can happen as Joe goes with a righty lineup against the lefty, Derek Holland, and those are the numbers.
Tough left-hander right here, Michael. You see the 4.4 ERA, a little bit high. He's got very good stuff. The 70 strikeouts, 81 and 2/3 innings. Impressive young pitcher out of Newark, Ohio.
He's out of Newark?
Yes, he is.
Wow, I pitched against Newark.
That's Columbus area.
Yeah, not far from Columbus. I got bombed my senior year. I'll never forget.
So yeah, that's why I included it, Paul. Let's take a look at the Jeep pitcher scatter report. Electric stuff make him work. We're going to see 95-mile-an-hour fastballs. He's got a good slider, occasional changeup. He hasn't retired the order consecutively in 3 batters. 20% of his innings.
Wait, say that again. You lost me.
He hasn't retired the side in order.
Right.
20% of the time.
So 80% of the time he has?
No. 20% of the time he's retired the order in 1, 2, 3.
Popped up. Well, that's not that great, right?
No, it's not great at all.
Beltran will make the play, 1 down.
No, I want to go
Actually,
through
it's
this.
second worst in the American League. Kyle Drabeck is now.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
And Kyle Drabeck was just sent down, so it's the worst in the American League.
Yes, make him work. Even though he's got great stuff, he's a guy that'll lose the plate and end up walking some guys. Where's the help? How about this? 3 blown saves in his last 9 starts. He's got 7 no decisions, 4 more quality starts. And Bronx bombed in regular season games. 2 starts this year. ERA almost 8. 0-1 lifetime. He's 0-3 with an 8.61 against the Yanks.
See, Paul, it's all fun and games. Al does not want the pitcher scouting report interrupted. I don't think he likes it.
He tied it all together.
No, it was good because I blew it.
Oh,
yeah.
He tied it all together. Now we're off and pacing.
That's a strike to Granderson, 1-1.
I have got to say hello to this guy tomorrow. Newark, Ohio.
It's a good story.
And it hits Granderson. Crowd's booing, but it was a breaking ball. Just got away.
Again, as a left-handed hitter, you have to make up your mind. And we talked about his shoulder. You see that shoulder stays in there. You make up your mind you're going to stay in there. And that breaking ball that does not break, no chance to get out of the way.
So runner at first base, and here is Mark Teixeira. Mark, 4 hits in his last 23 at bats, hitting .250, 19 homers, 49 runs batted in. And there's a strike. Rangers with 2 runs in the top of the first inning. Now, Al, let me give you, I need a clarification on one of your Jeep pitcher scouting report lines. Let's say Teixeira hits into a double play here. Is that considered a 1-2-3 inning?
No. Retired the side in order.
Okay, so he's already ruined that 20%. It's under 20%.
It's 1, 2, 3. Yes, he's under 20. It's okay. I blew it.
You didn't blow it.
No, because then it sounded like it was 80% of the time he gets 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you had me confused there, but that's all right.
6 for 12 against Holland.
It's the most talked about scouting report of the year, though. Feel good about that.
I said it's a good story. Derek Holland was a guy that did not do well in high school. Didn't even make his Babe Ruth team.
That one's drilled deep to left field. There it goes. See ya. A long home run off the bat of Mark Teixeira. And the Yankees have tied the game at 2.
Tell you what, Michael, I mean, Teixeira and Granderson on this homestand. Again, we keep going back to 1961, and these guys are on pace with Mantle and Maris at this point of the season. So it has been a fun time of year for these two.
That got out of the hurry.
Mark Teixeira from the right side. You see this ball down and in. No doubt about it. In the blink of an eye, you have a tie game.
Pitch to Alex Rodriguez is a strike.
In slow motion, it's even going to look better. The hips are cleared. Ball's inside, right to the barrel. I thought the lefties were the one that liked that ball down and in.
That's an in. As a right hitter, pull hitter.
Teixeira now has 9 straight years of at least 20 home runs, so that's consistency. But he's not satisfied with 20. Doesn't look like he's going to end with anything in the 20s. The 2-1, driven the other way foul. Yankees are 37-28, 9 games over 500, and that matches their high water mark of the season. So a win tonight, they go 10 over. Yankees have showed a lot of offense on this homestand, and they're 4-4 on the stand. And despite getting shut out Monday 1-0 to the Indians, they've averaged 6.1 runs per game and 10.4 hits per game on this homestand.
I have a hoarse voice here with the Seagulls here pretty soon. Telling me.
Pitches outside as A-Rod walks. Let's take a look at the Rangers defense, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz Tri-State Dealer. And Mike Max is thinking there's no defense to a base on balls. Hamilton, Chavez, and Cruz left to right. That's in the outfield. Infield, Beltre, Andrews, Kinsler, and Moreland. Beltre, a 2-time Gold Glove winner with the Mariners. Torrey Alba behind the plate, and Derek Holland is on the mound. Now, we told you Teixeira hit his 20th home run. He did not hit his 20th last year until July 24th. Here's Robinson Cano. Cano, 8 hits in his last 30, shorter period of time, 5 for his last 11. Alex Rodriguez moving back toward first when that pitch was delivered. Holland's been much better on the road than he's been at home this year. 7 starts on the road, a 3.02 ERA, 3-1. And in Arlington, 6 starts, 2-0, but a 6.68 ERA.
Well, they got that jet stream in right center. Not a great place to pitch. It's been known as a very friendly hitter's ballpark. The humidity, the heat. But it's changing. With Mike Maddox, the pitching coach for the Texas Rangers, done a nice job. Kind of the philosophy's changed. It's been always a place where hitters would love to go. Maddox talked to him before the game, just preach it. Try to keep it simple. Talked to Andy Hawkins too. Remember, did you play Andy here?
My second hit in the major leagues was off Andy Hawkins out in San Diego.
He's the bullpen coach. He said, you know, we try not to let our pitchers think that this is not a good place to pitch. You know that sometimes the numbers don't lie, and of course, you know, you have to. There's Andy. Here a few years as a Yankee, San Diego Padre, a few other teams.
Andy Hawkins threw the no-hitter, and then he lost, right?
Yep, against the White Sox.
You like that one, huh?
I remember.
Jim Larids was in left field, tough sun field, dropped a couple of fly balls out there. 3-1. Served into left field, it's a base hit. Hamilton will get the ball in. Alex Rodriguez advances to second.
Well, if you saw our pregame, this is what I love about Robbie Cano. He got a ball inside last night, drove it out of the ballpark. Now a lefty away, drive it to left field. When he covers all parts of the plate, he really does not have a weakness to get him out.
That's your 340 hitter. 330, 300 plus hitter. Mike Maddox, the older brother of Greg Maddox. He spent 15 years in the big leagues. Mike Maddox. Greg Maddux attributes a lot of his success to learning from his older brother.
That was an interesting conference. The pitching coach was out there, and it was Torey Alba who did most of the talking. And Mike Maddux kind of stroked the soul patch.
Yeah, that's one of those visits. Obviously, you get peppered here, home runs, hard hit balls. You just kind of calm down. You probably throw it out there. Okay, what are you guys thinking? Put it on them. Let them talk it out. If you disagree with them, maybe you might add something. It plays in your head, Michael. Yeah, no, this is the beginning of another bad outing.
Andrew Jones takes inside, 1-0.
Potentially, I know it's 2 runs, but 0-3. 4 starts against the Yankees' career ERA of 8.
A-Rod goes from second. The throw to third, not in time. And Cano sneaks in at second, a double steal. And Torey Alba's kind of looking at Beltre like he wasn't there in time.
A lot of times you can cheat that stolen base from second base. They're not holding you on. Good job by Alex Rodriguez, right-handed hitter up there. Tough for the catcher to get around him, make a good throw. What I really like about this play is Andrew Jones gets in the way, takes that pitch, allows them to steal the base. Now he's got an opportunity to drive in too. Yes, slow-mo will show you that he is safe.
Count 3-0 to Jones. Boy, watching the replay, Beltre was certainly there on time, so you wonder what Torey Alba was wondering about. To Jones, and he walked him. So this awful first inning continues for Derek Holland.
Funny, you come into this series as a Yankee hitter and look at the numbers of the starting pitchers the first 2 games. With Ogando last night, it was 7-0. Holland tonight, he's 5-1. It's 12-1, and both of these guys come out of the gate struggling.
And not a couple pitchers, as you know, Paul, that are just tricking. I mean, you know, Ogando, the year that he's having up until last night, really. 7-0. ERA at 2. Good throwing. 95 or better.
I was going to say, Holland's not your typical left-hander. I mean, he tops the gun at 95, 96.
Hot shot up the middle of the batter. Nunez slowed down by Holland, and that's turned into a double play, 1-6-3. Nunez hit it hard, but once it was slowed down by Holland, now that was trouble. Well, the Yankees got 2 runs on 2 hits. The big blow off the bat up to Shera, 7 for 13 with 3 home runs now against Holland. Hickman and John McEnroe. That's not too bad, and that's part of the crowd here at the stadium. Let's look at the upcoming schedule brought to you by Acela Express. Enjoy the journey. One more game on this homestand tomorrow, so remember that. A Thursday matinee, then on to Chicago to play interleague play against the Cubs. Friday on Yes, Saturday on Fox, Sunday on ESPN, and Saturday and Sunday, of course, we have extra innings, so we'll cover that. And then on to Cincinnati, Paul's hometown. 3 games against the Reds.
It's going to be hot, you told me, right?
Yeah, every day, 95, 96.
I'll be flying out of that place.
Tom Coughlin is there, so you can rest assured that Plaxico Burress is not sitting near him. Giants football coach, good man. Count 0-2 on Moreland. Time was called. IOTV offers incredible HD picture and sound. Get the best in HD free. IOTV is the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. And there's a strike. Strike 3, Moreland down looking.
Good hitter, Mitch Moreland. Texas Rangers like this young hitter, but this is a knee buckling, can't pull the trigger. Little 12-6 curveball. A couple fastballs. That ball looks. What happens there, Paul? You just can't pull it?
Yeah, the thing is you see it and it's high, and you kind of give up on it, and then you start. The buckling effect is that you can't pull the trigger because you've given up on it, and now you see it breaking, and now you realize you're done. A lot happens in that 12-6 you talked about. For the hitter's eye, nothing good about it.
90-mile-an-hour fastball. You have less than a half a second to decide what is the pitch. Is it a ball? Is it a strike? And am I going to swing?
Michael, I'm just going to throw this out there because you mentioned when the Indians were town that
right.
Asdrubal Cabrera was the first time that there was an Asdrubal in the major leagues.
That's right.
I'm going to throw that. This is the first Yorvik too.
This is the first Yorvik, I believe.
Okay.
Although I haven't researched.
Not officially.
No.
Yorvik. But I'm just throwing that out there to you.
It's kind of insight that we're paying for. Here's Endy Chavez. Made one of the great plays in postseason history for the Mets against the Cardinals. Going over the left field wall at Shea. But Mets ended up losing that game. And the Cardinals went to the World Series. Nova working quickly. He has settled down. There's a strike. 1-1.
Pretty fair to say that is his defining moment as a major league player. He's a nice player, great defense.
Why don't we take a look at that play? Really an unbelievable play.
I mean, these plays are made unbelievable. Great play, but in the situation, where you are in a game, where you are in the season, that's what makes them even more fun.
And a double play.
You know what's weird about that? People are actually cheering for the Mets there.
Because it was at Shea Stadium.
Could be over at Citi Field right now. I don't know if they're cheering, although they're playing pretty well right now. You know.
The 2-2. Dribbled slowly, grabbed there by Cervelli. It's a fair ball, and it's an out at second. So a nice, easy 1-2-3 inning for Ivan Nova and the Yankees. We go to the bottom of the second. A lot of twos. It's 2-2 on Yes. question is, which of these upcoming interleague matchups are you looking forward to seeing most? Text your vote to 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply. Is it the Brewers, Cubs, Reds, or Rockies? Those are the teams the Yankees will play, and of course the Mets as well. As we go to the bottom of the second, Cervelli takes a pitch low, 1-0.
I'm going to vote for the Reds, Michael, just because of the travel schedule.
It's a home game for you.
3 home games this year.
But your hometown couldn't do better than 96, 97 degrees.
I want you to be comfortable.
Count 2-1. Grounded up the middle, grabbed there by Kinsler, and that'll do it for Cervelli. 1 away. Speaking of weather, let's check the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. It was dank a couple of days ago. It's 80 degrees today. 38% humidity, wind not much, 8 miles per hour, and the forecast is mostly sunny, although I doubt that will be the case at night.
Absolute 10 from what we've become from the last few nights, right?
Absolutely. Here is Ramiro Pena. He actually replaced Derek Jeter on the 25-man roster yesterday and playing at third base today with Alex getting half a day off as a DH. That's what he did in 51 games with the Yankees AAA affiliate in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre. He's been a Yankee the last couple of years, but they went with Nunez over Pena out of spring training because they felt that Nunez was a little bit better hitter and had more power and more potential to develop. And they've always liked Pena. They liked his attitude. He came to work with the right frame of mind. Wasn't upset that he wasn't starting. Obviously, he would dream to start, but accepted his role. But they just felt that Nunez was a little bit better. And in 269 big league at bats, a 253 hitter, and that's not too bad coming off the bench.
Not bad at all for a guy that can space his at bats out, could be weeks at a time. So he does catch the ball. He does have options where he can play in the field. And I think you really said it, Michael. I mean, he always has a smile on his face. He's always positive, whether he hasn't played in a week or not. And that's that there's something to be said for guys like that on a team.
And on your Yankee championship teams, there were different guys like that. Andy Fox, Clay Bellinger. You see Ramiro Pena's resume, Homer Bush. You need guys on the bench that know their role and accept their role. The 2-2. And a base hit for Pena.
Getting a chance to get an opportunity to play here, talking about as a utility player, more of an up the middle guy with a nice little swing, not trying to do a whole lot. Up the middle, line drive. Good approach. Chavez cutting that ball off.
Back up top to Nick Swisher. This is Swisher's 30th career start as the leadoff batter. And all previous 29 came in 2008. That was with the White Sox. They could have gone several ways on this. They could have disrupted the proverbial apple cart by having Granderson be the leadoff guy. They could have kept Brett Gardner in the lineup. But against the lefty, they sat Gardner and have Swisher up top. And Girardi said he likes Swisher's on-base percentage from the right-hand side. 2-1.
And Swisher, we talked about in the pregame. I mean, from the right side this year, he's been very consistent. Kind of a different approach and a different swing. Stays on the ball a little bit longer. And Brett Gardner had a great game last night. And sometimes, you know, the thought process in the manager is, you know, he had a great game last night. Let's not throw him in there against a tough lefty where, you know, he might lose his confidence.
Hot shot off the glove of a diving Beltre, and then it trickles into foul territory. Pena will stop at third, and Beltre grabs it without the glove. The glove remains near the foul line. It's a double for Swisher.
Wow. I'll tell you what, it's not very often you see a ball hit hard enough to blow the guy's glove off. You see that Beltre lost something along the way. Still ball hit hard. Beltre, I mean, Beltre, he's won Gold Glove, so you know defensively he's sound down there. Knocks it down, just doesn't get it in the pocket.
Yeah, a couple Gold Gloves. I think good heads up running there. You get a hot smash down third base. Pena picking that up. The effort that Beltre had, allowing the double for Nick Swisher.
Stay tuned during the 6th inning for a message from our friends at the Fox Business Network. So Maddox again, another trip to the mound.
Well, I mentioned about the numbers, and there are sometimes as a pitcher, and as good a stuff, a nice pitcher that Derek Holland is, you look in there, and there aren't too many soft hit balls right now. Even the outs.
Pitch to Granderson is inside. Granderson plunked on a breaking ball in the first inning, then he came around to score, jogged around to score, and a home run by Teixeira. 2-2 game, bottom of the second inning. How much better is Nick Swisher from the right side? He now has 8 extra base hits and 60 at-bats against lefty pitching. He has 10 extra base hits and 148 at-bats against righties. Squibbed out toward third. Beltre is going to make the play at first. Scoring easily is Pena. RBI for Granderson is 52nd, and the Yankees lead 3-2.
Every once in a while, as a hitter, you just put the ball in play and good things happen as far as knocking a run in. But that ball right there, 94 miles an hour, right in on your hands. Not much you can do with it. Bird stays on it. It's a run.
Soft enough. Pena going on contact. Able to get an RBI run.
I would never do this, Michael, because I think when you're on pace to do things, from a player standpoint, it'll drive you crazy. But with Mark Teixeira's home run in the first inning tonight, his 20th, Granderson has 21, 41 homers combined.
Right.
We always talk about 1961, the Mantle and the Maris thing. On this date, June 15th, they had 41 combined. And the reason I say that, bring it up, is just to show you how hot Teixeira and Granderson have been combined together. I mean, it's been fun for me in this homestand just to watch these two hit.
Now, one thing that we should point out, though, on this date, they played fewer games than the Yankees have. I think it's 8 fewer games. So I think if you look at the exact amount of games, I think that Maris might have 27. And how many did Mantle have? 22. So they had 49 combined after the same amount of games. Fly ball, right field. Cruz is there, and that will do it. But the Yankees take the lead. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We played 2 here at the stadium. The Yankees lead the Rangers 3-2 on yes. dangerous order against Ivan Nova. We've got to get right down to Kim Jones because we've got a lot of news that we have to disseminate. Kim, first off, for Eduardo Nunez, he's the starting shortstop while Derek Jeter is out. And it's a birthday of his today.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of text messages over the past 2 days, Michael, and not just because he turns 24 today, cake and ice cream in the clubhouse to prove it before the game. But Eduardo Nunez says he is so excited about this opportunity, but adds he is sorry to get it this way with Derek Jeter going on the disabled list. That being said, he continues to seek out and receive advice from Jeter. He has gotten a lot of it throughout the season. There was a game in Detroit last month.
That one is drilled deep to center field. Granderson back. He's still back. He's going to turn, and it's going to be gone. A home run off the bat of Kinsler. He really hit it, and the game is tied at 3.
Good fastball hitter. This ball up out over the plate. 2-0 fastball down the middle, pretty much. Directly down the middle. Thought that ball had a little topspin to it. 8th home run of the year for Kinsler.
Now let's get back to Kim. So Derek has been helping out Nunez.
Yeah, a game last month in Detroit where Nunez committed a couple of errors. Privately, Jeter sought him out for a conversation, and Nunez talking last night.
Fair ball, good play as Andrews is retired.
Nunez talking last night about how Derek Jeter emphasizes focus with him. He did it last night before Nunez got that start. He does it sometimes during games, but Jeter telling him if you focus all the time, your athletic ability can take over. So he's emphasizing the mental part of the game. No one doubts that Nunez has a lot of the physical gifts he'll need to take over this job while Jeter's on the DL.
About a half hour before the game, Yankees made a roster move. Tell us about it, Kim.
Yeah, Corey Wade was selected from AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre, Michael. He had made just one appearance for the Yankees AAA team after opting out of his deal with Tampa Bay. Brian Cashman telling me he had been pitching well for AAA Durham. The Yankees liked what they saw and he opted out, and now he's here. As I said, after just one appearance with AAA, Corey Wade, a 28-year-old who has battled shoulder issues, but he does have major league experience back in 08 and 09 when he was a Dodger. Russell Martin caught him. So this is going by script when Brian Cashman and Joe Girardi say guys who are in the system, especially relievers, are going to have their chances to make an impact on this pitching staff. Wade now has his, as Kevin Whalen was optioned back to AAA.
Hamilton hammers one to center field. Granderson got a late jump. It's over his head and bounces onto the screen in front of Monument Park. So a double for Josh Hamilton as Ivan Nova getting some pitches up. Now, have we had a decision yet on who's starting tomorrow, Kim?
No, and Joe Girardi says he might not decide, or at least not tell us, until after this game tonight. In fact, now that's definitely the case. That's when we'll learn whether it is Hector Noesi or a man who's going to be the newest Yankee tomorrow, and that is Brian Gordon, who is expected to be added to the roster tomorrow. Joe Girardi saying it's between those two guys. It partly depends on if he needs Noesi tonight.
All right, Noesi's in the bullpen, and so is David Robertson. And David Robertson got a very warm greeting from the bleacher creatures today, and they did a great thing, those guys and gals out there.
A terrific job. Bald Vinny with an online auction. Michael, he raised $1,729.80, and before this game, right around 6:15 p.m., he literally dropped the check from the bleachers, where else, to David Robertson, who was standing in the bullpen. Erin Robertson, David's wife, was standing with the creatures, and they had a nice conversation. And David Robertson tells me he is absolutely overwhelmed, humbled, and grateful for those who are giving to High Sox for Hope, as the bleacher creatures just did tonight. David telling me he has a basket of fan mail here at the stadium with checks in it. He said some of the checks are for any amount you can imagine. Hey, if it's $5, David Robertson says, thank you very, very much.
You know what I liked about that too, Kim? I don't know if you noticed it. Bald Vinny signs his checks. Bald Vinny.
That's the first time I've ever I got a new acquaintance. Bald Vinny.
Bald Vinny.
That's the kind of check you can sign that way, Michael. And of course, it all going to the cause of helping Tuscaloosa recover from the April 27th tornado.
All right, before I let you go, Kim, talking about the bullpen, Joe Girardi kind of laid out the pecking order in the bullpen before this game.
Yeah, we know now 8-9 is Robertson, Rivera, but to get to them, Girardi said today, Luis Ayala in the mix, of course Boone Logan against lefties, and Hector Noesi. He says he will not hesitate to use Noesi for shorter stints. We've seen him mostly as a long man, but Joe's saying, hey, I could use him for an inning or two. The Yankees like what they've seen. And as these guys become more comfortable, I'm told that their personalities are beginning to show. Apparently Ayala is somewhat of a prankster. Here's an example for Paul and Al. He'll put a cup of seeds on top of the bullpen door. You open it, you get a head full of seeds. As David Robertson said, it's better than water or coffee.
Ground ball up the middle and a high throw from Cano, and that allows Michael Young to reach as Hamilton moves to third. Kim, thanks a lot. We'll talk there on the postgame show.
Thank you.
So we've got a situation now, runners on the corners with one out, and the game is tied at 3.
Again, Robbie's made this play a few times in this homestand. This ball's off the bag. Mark Teixeira has to leave the bag. Tough play, but again, Robbie has made this play so many times that you're almost accustomed to see him do it again.
Didn't get to finish that little flick throw, as you say, Paul. Cano has done it so often. Just didn't get a finish on it to where it stayed on line for Teixeira to get it.
That scored a hit. Here's Beltre. Pitch is low. Three game, top of the third. Driven into center field. Granderson will make the play. Tagging is Hamilton, and he will score. Nice play by Granderson, but a sac line drive from Beltre, and it's 4-3 Texas.
And as a runner at third base, whether you think it's going to be a hit or not, you tag up just in case. Granderson comes in, makes a shoestring catch.
Let's take a look at that on the IOTV HD Super Shot. Right off the grass. That's a catch. The bounce you saw was from leather to leather. And here's Nelson Cruz, the first to throw to first. Young gets back.
Toughest ball for an outfielder is that line drive right at you, where you can't get to either side of the ball, and it looks like Curtis Granderson was caught in the middle, whether to dive or not to dive. And as a center fielder, very dangerous play, because if it gets by you, the only one that's helping you are the monuments out there.
Fouled away.
Also looked, Paul, and you would know better than me, certainly being an outfielder, as to whether it has topspin or backspin carry. Right, where there's that moment of freezing. You saw Granderson wasn't sure. Stop. Is that tumbling with topspin? As it did, a little slider away.
The 0-1. Why don't we take a look at the hitters scouting report brought to you by Home Depot.
Well, what would he do with 162? I'm talking about a full season. I mean, he's had 33 home runs in 128 games in 09, 22 last year in 108 games, continually fighting through injuries. Scary power duo. He and Hamilton, I mean, they basically just can hit the ball out of any part of the park in any ballpark in America, and they need these guys for their offense. In a rut, though, came into the game 2 for his last 25, so Yankees might be dodging a bullet by having him struggle through this series.
Well, he struck out in the first inning, so now 2 for his last 26. Good 2-1. Foul back, 2-2. And you mentioned it yesterday, Paul. He's kind of caught between. He's too late on the fastball. He's way ahead of any breaking pitch. He's almost outthinking himself.
Yeah, it looks like he's in that home run mode. I mean, that ball right there, that's a hanging breaking ball off the outside corner, which still he had a swing where he was trying to hit that ball out to left.
2-2. Grounded sharply to Cano. He's going to go the short way, gets the force, and that will do it. But the Rangers take the lead. 2 runs on 3 hits with 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the third. 4-3 Texas. Street and is brought to you by Johnny Walker. See smile on Lou Gehrig there, so it must involve him. Yes, it does. 1923, the Iron Horse makes his major league debut at the age of 19 as a defensive replacement.
For who?
Demand greatness in every sip and every season. Johnny Walker, proud sponsor of the New York Yankees. It might be Wally Pipp.
Wasn't that Wally Pipp?
Well, that wasn't the beginning of the streak, though.
Oh.
That was just his major league debut. And Lou came right off the campus at Columbia University and signed with the Yankees. Count 1-2. On the Lincoln scoreboard, it's 4-3 Texas over the Yankees. Grounded softly to third, but it kicks foul. Alex walked in the first inning.
You probably know this, Michael. Was Lou Gehrig the first major leaguer that grew up south of 96th Street in Manhattan?
I have no idea.
I thought you did. I think that's true.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say to that. South of 96th Street?
In Manhattan, he grew up.
I tell you,
There's guys from Manhattan, Manny Ramirez, and several players.
High fly ball, right field line. Cruz makes the play.
Chalka, I took a different route to the ballpark today. I looked up, the driver took a different. I came down the Bronx River Parkway today. I mean, absolutely beautiful. Never seen it. I've been.
Well, how did you used to go?
I usually come down the Deacon, sit in traffic, and wait to get here. But I was reading the paper. I looked up, and I'm going down a different road. I'm like, where are we? This is beautiful. They got to charge admission to this place. I mean, it was a beautiful drive.
So 15 years and you've never seen the beauty of the Bronx River
Never
Parkway?
seen it. And I tell you one thing. Why is there no traffic on that play? I mean, it's.
Well, now everybody's going to go there.
I don't know how to get there anyway, so if I'm my driver better.
Didn't you feel sorry for Paul yesterday, Al? Because I know I did. The end of the game, he gives out his award on my 9, out of here like a bat out of heck. And then we have to do what we do, finish up, close up shop. And we walk out, and Paul's leaning against the wall at Yankee Stadium, all alone,
all dejected.
in the dark Bronx night. His car's not there. I felt like crying as I drove away.
You felt like crying, and this is the way this story happens. Al stops. Do you need a ride? Michael says, "See you tomorrow."
There's a ground roll a second.
Went. But you know what happened? My driver, I got out there, got in the car, and he's apologized. I say, "It's no big deal." A bus had just gone by and blew the guy's mirror off. So he was a little flustered, to say the least. So I'm sitting in the back seat. Now he can't find his keys. Now he's really flustered. So it was.
You got the same driver today?
It was comical. Now, I don't know. We got no rear view mirror or side mirror if I do.
There's Andrew Jones. Now, wait a second, Al. You're going home to Jersey. You would have really driven Paul O'Neill.
No, but it's
Westchester.
just the thing. You know, you ask.
I didn't ask because I
had
no intention of doing it.
If he said, yes, I need a ride, absolutely. You would too.
I was going to Manhattan. That's the complete opposite direction.
What you got?
Ground ball a second. All you had to do was ask Paul. I would have done it. So a 1-2-3 inning for Derek Holland and the Texas Rangers. Everybody take a deep breath. Paul got home, and we go to the 4th inning. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Bad Teacher in theaters June 24th and by the new definition of world class in 2011 Buick LaCrosse. That's a good looking picture, you O'Neill.
That's nothing to joke at. Your pictures in Yankee Stadium anywhere.
2000 World Series there, kid.
So you took that to left, right?
Yeah, I hope it stays fair.
I think that's 96. That's the 96 logo on that catcher's sleeve. Well, you know, that could be the Padres. That could be 98. I think that's 98.
I thought it was the Padres.
Count 0-1 to Moreland.
Don't you remember that at bat? Line drive left field, Yankee Stadium, World Series.
He had so many of them out.
No, I'm trying to. You do remember a lot of pitches in the bats, believe me. Does your wife think you're crazy when you bring up a pitch you threw in like 1998 or something?
She just thinks I'm crazy.
Debbie throws it to me all the time. Now, how can you remember a pitch from 1980 and you can't remember that I told you to take the trash out or something 5 minutes ago? And it happens daily. It's hilarious. I guess that pitch in 1998 was a little more important to me.
He was kind of hurt. Teixeira steps on the bag. Time for the New York State Smokers Quit Line quiz. Derek Jeter and Michael Young are two of four current Major League players who lead their franchises in hits. Who are the other two? We'll find that out at the bottom of the 4th inning.
One of
I have one.
One's real easy.
Here's Torrey Alba. Lines one into center field. A base hit. Now, Al, Paul and I, the other day, when we were here with Kenny, we came up with an idea for an unbelievable reality series. So if there's a big-time producer like a Mark Burnett out there, it's a great idea. Now, how old are you, Paul? 45?
48.
You're 48?
48.
All right, but you look good.
Yeah, they give up on you about 45. Things are over, right?
We say, let's say the Yankees come to Paul O'Neill, middle of July. How quickly can you get ready? We want to put you on the 40-man when we expand in September. Could he do it? And could he get a base hit?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Could he get a base hit? For sure.
Somebody asked me if you could get ready in spring training and ready for a season. I don't think people realize how hard this game is, because from where you and I are right now on the monitor, it looks very easy, and it takes you back to Little League. Oh, I used to be able to do that and this and that. But somebody did say it'd be hilarious to go to spring training, go through this, and then have Joe Girardi be like, you know, Donald Trump and say, fired, sorry, you don't have it.
That's the reality show. Yeah. Bring back retired players from maybe 5-6 years ago.
Now, let me ask you this question, though, Paul. Let's say you had all that time to get ready, and you're 48, and you're in great shape, knock on wood, and you had 30 at-bats in the big leagues against the best pitchers. Would you get a hit?
Oh, I'd get a hit. In 30 at-bats, I bet I could get a hit.
Yeah?
Yeah. But it would, I mean, believe me, after a spring training, you would be more ready than you would up in this booth right now where you haven't picked up a bat in 10 years. But I think a hitter here or there, yeah. Consistency, no.
Here's the 0-2 to Chavez. And that one's fouled off. All right, Al, let me ask you, could you strike out a big league hitter now?
Oh, strike out.
Not get an out, because, I mean, you can get an out, but could you strike somebody out?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you're 45. Okay.
Yeah. Still, I think you could trick somebody, and I think it would have to be that. But yeah, my velocity, I don't know what it is. I could throw at least 50.
The 0-2. Wait a second, weren't you on the pier at the Jersey Shore and in flip-flops you threw like 78?
No, 83.
Oh, there you go. That's in flip-flops.
83.
I bet you can get it up to 88.
Yeah. It's a little curveball.
You know, it's the funny thing about that question. You say, you know, at 48, can you get a hit in 30 at bats? The funny thing is, like, there are times when you're 25 and in the big leagues you're wondering, could I get a hit in the next 30 at bats, please?
Yep.
All right, so Mark Burnett, there's your reality show with these two. I'll gladly host for a small fee.
I'm glad there's a lot of channels on cable, because I don't think we're going to the major network with this one.
The 0-2. Boy, he's really spoiling a lot of pitches. Now, you were actually on one of those Jocks versus Joes, right? I think that's a pros Joes. That was a great concept.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Oh boy!
So you had an average guy face you.
That's right.
And how did he do?
They had like marked out at the Rose Bowl how far they could hit it. It's kind of lame, really. They hit it like. No, I mean, if they put it on 50 feet, they got a point. Okay. 75 feet, they got 2 points. It was cool. We were trying.
Check swing in the dirt, going to second, and the throw is a great grab there by Nunez to save an error from Cervelli. So Torrey Alba goes to second on the wild pitch.
Yeah, every once in a while as an outfielder, you know that you don't have a chance and you don't throw. Well, I think as a catcher, every once in a while, although he did, but I guess he did have a chance. But it's funny because everything was tailing towards right field early in the homestand. Now it seems like he's keeping that shoulder so close, he's throwing against it. Now he's throwing it on the shortstop side.
I'll tell you what, a good throw. He's got him. This ball kicks away. Torrey Alba waited. A decent throw. He's out. Watch how far By the time he gets the ball here, see Torrealba slow, boom, he's not even less than half the distance.
1-2. Grounded to first. Mark Teixeira flips to Nova for the second out as Torrealba will move to third. Hey, during this Yankee homestand, we want to remind you there are ways to save money and conserve energy in your home. You can save up to $700 on your energy bills and make your home safer and cooler this summer. To learn more, go to getenergysmart.org. So 2 outs, runner at third. Yankees are trailing 4-3. Top of the lineup, here's Ian Kinsler, who's 2 for 2 against Nova. A single, stolen base, run scored, and a home run his last time up. First homer that Nova has allowed to a righty this year. There's a breaking ball inside. The 1-0. Another breaking ball.
Cervelli tried to stick it there. Show home plate umpire Mike Winters, and he thought it may have gotten the inside corner. Getting a couple curveballs. Kinsler's a very good fastball hitter, pull hitter. 2-0 fastball. Home run his last at bat. See if he goes with the breaking ball again here.
The pitch.
He did. It was a little shorter breaking ball.
That was a good one.
And again, that's that mentality of it's 2-0, I'm going to get a fastball and I'm going to hit it out of the ballpark. And, you know, as a hitter, you can give away a pitch if that's the type of hitter you are at 2-1. The worst thing you want to do is kind of make contact. You're better off just swinging through it like that and missing it by a foot. Now you're still back in the count.
There's a strike. We count 2-2.
This has been a weird at bat because there was a close curveball that went Kinsler's way, and there's a close fastball could have gone either way that went Nova's way. See, this ball to me, if you look at the overhead, is probably outside. Not a little bit. So.
Time called. Conference on the mound. Rangers with 2 in the first and 2 in the third. Yankees came back with 2 in the first and 1 in the second. So at 4-3, Texas over the Yankees. Middle game of this 3-game set.
Big pitch, good visit from Cervelli, making sure that Nova's on the same page. What do you want to do? Thinking that curveball down the way. See if he fishes.
2-2. 3-2.
Now, will you hit her if you throw 2-2, look at 3-2? I know you just saw the ball hit the ball.
You heard that so much, but no, it was such a dead fastball, look fastball, adjust to everything else that I'm looking up in the zone. I don't want to swing at that ball in the dirt.
I'm a believer. If I felt good enough, there you go, curveball. For 2-2, why not 3-2? And pitchers, they'll get out of it because they are 3-2, and it's a less percentage pitch for a called strike if a hitter chooses to lay off it. They're more inclined to throw the fastball. You don't want to walk about a curveball. But this is a big moment in this game here for Nova and the Yankees. Obviously down by 1, even though it's early.
And we threw in 1 3-2 curveball. Can you come back and throw it again?
I'm throwing it again. Plus, it's his weakness. Kinsler's weakness. Here's the off-speaker.
3-2. Outside.
That was a shorter kind of a slider there. He missed it. Again, you've got to be careful. What kind of set up that at bat to put him away with the fastball down on the way was that guy at third base. You can't overthrow a curveball in the dirt and have that guy walking in.
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Want to send out our best wishes and congratulations to police officer Johnny Iannazzo. Works outside the stadium, gate 2. Got a new assignment today, so we wish him the best. Those guys out there do an unbelievable job. So he got transferred, and this was his last day, so good luck to him. They were protecting you yesterday when you were just hanging around.
They're the best. The police officers around this stadium, from the old stadium to the new stadium, awesome. And the funny thing about it is they're huge baseball fans.
Yep.
They love the Yankee games. And
Here's Elvis Andrus. Walked and scored in the first. Big at bat right here. Yankees trail by just one. First and third with 2 outs. So Rothschild has a little conference with Nova. Now the right-hander sets. He's missing with that breaking ball inside.
Well, it's a field pitch, no question, Michael. And you want the curveball from the right-handed pitcher to go away, and that's just overthrown. Anytime a curveball overthrown, it'll back up a little and see where Cervelli's setting up middle. And he is got a wider base. Curveball is more inclined to throw it in the dirt, get ready for a possible wild pitch.
A lot of curveballs right there in this inning, but there's a pitch right there that kind of ran right back over the middle of the plate. Good hitter's pitch. Didn't do anything with it. Cervelli looking over there, the throw over, check out what's going on.
Tony Pena goes through the signs.
That's also a sign. Step off just to see what's happening. They see it maybe fake the third, throw to first. What do you call it? The Jeff Nelson move?
Jeff Nelson. He did it almost every time he was on the mound, it seemed like.
Chuck Wendell used to do it all the time.
And there it is. That was kind of a half Nelson.
See, Michael, when you used to wear your pencil protector in your pocket when you were a student, see Tony, just line them up there on your uniform.
I didn't have a pocket protector.
I guarantee you had one or two. No, don't lie.
One. High pop-up. He's going to get out of the jam. Andrew Jones will put it away for the final out of the fourth. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Yankees down by 1. Derek Jeter and Michael Young are two of 4 current Major League Baseball players who lead their franchises in hits. Who were the other 2? Any idea, Paul?
I think Ichiro in Seattle was one.
Well, let's take a look. Ichiro and Todd Helton.
Todd Helton.
What did you ask me?
I asked you both.
You knew that?
Did you know?
No, I had Todd Helton. I completely
so
whiffed
together
on.
we got it.
Together you
I
got
whiffed on Ichiro.
Eduardo Nunez takes a strike, the 0-1. Oh, and 2 Eduardo celebrating his 24th birthday today. That's a little guy with a cell phone.
Fancy one, too. That's one of those iPhones.
So that little kid's got more technology than me right now.
That's funny.
Yeah, there he is.
Fouled away. Some birthdays today. Andy Pettit, 39 years old. Boggsy, Butler, Baker, and Billy Williams.
I think Andy gets capable. I think Andy gets capable with the Rams.
That one's driven deep to left. Hamilton back. Track. Wall. See ya. A birthday blast for Eduardo Nunez. And the game is tied at 4.
See a big smile. First time up, bad luck. He hit a line drive hard with men in scoring position, and this time, why mess with the line drive up the middle? Breaking ball up. Balls are flying. It's starting to warm up a little bit. Nunez hit his second.
The Yankees' 99th, now it's their 100th home run of the year. Home run by Teixeira in the first. Nunez here. Look at that smile.
You can't help but smile.
Second home run of the year, 3rd career, and that one's fouled away by Cervelli.
2 for 4 yesterday, taking advantage of this opportunity. Boy, you mentioned that first line drive out, the double play, hit the ball hard. Showing he's hitting the fastball now. There's slider coming in on him. Good at bats.
Rounded up the middle, kick save and a beauty by Holland. And he makes the play at first. So on the night of Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals, Holland making like a goaltender. And taking a base hit away.
Boy, as a hitter, you do everything you can. You line one right up at the middle, and a lot of times they bounce up in the air. CC Sabathia had one last night, but this one stayed right down. He found it. Still throw you out. Oof, it's a close play. We're going to have to get this one to slow down and see if he really was out.
Well, no one argued, and that's why he was out.
Yeah.
Ramiro Pena takes pitch low. Last year, Pena with the Yankees played second, short, third, and right field. That was another reason Nunez made the team over Pena. They felt that Nunez was a bit more proficient in the outfield. Played some left field during spring training. Four game, bottom of the 4th. 4's a wild. Line to right field, Nelson Cruz. 2 outs. Let's take a look at tomorrow's starting pitchers, brought to you by Verizon Fios. Get the ultimate in entertainment on the Ultimate Network. Fios and Network ahead. C.J. Wilson starting for the Texas Rangers. Those are his numbers. And the Yankees are going to pitch either Brian Gordon or Hector Noesi. And I guess they're waiting to see if, in fact, they use Noesi tonight out of the bullpen. So they'll announce after the game, and we'll have that on the post-game show. count 1-2.
Now, to me, he turned that ball over a little bit. It's still 95 miles an hour. I think that he gets in trouble sometimes when he starts throwing that breaking ball, trying to run that ball in on some of these right-handed hitters. I mean, 95 with movement away to a right-handed hitter is you're going to be pretty good.
Count 2-2. Swisher popped the third, then doubled off the glove of Beltre in the second inning.
Just the Yankee hitters, getting good at bats or seeing the ball, I think, well. I mean, even the outs are line drive outs. Holland throws a little across his body. I think they're picking the ball up very nicely. Even the takes on breaking balls that are down in 2-strike counts, doesn't look like they're fooled a whole lot.
There's a split between Nick from the left side, Nick from the right side. Really a struggle from the left side. That's why his average is what it is, 230. And the 3-2. Missed outside, so Swisher with a 2-out walk.
Another good at bat. Really, what I see with Derek Holland is that definitely frustrated right from the first inning on with the 2-run homer that Teixeira ended up getting. A guy who's trying to find what pitch is working consistently enough. He's got enough on his fastball. He's a 2-pitch pitcher with an occasional 3rd pitch. You know, Yankee lineup, if they're locked in, as they've been the last few days, during the Indian series and now yesterday and tonight, got to have that 3rd pitch.
Breaking ball's a strike to Granderson.
Took a little off on his breaking ball. He throws a curve and a slider. He throws a slower breaking ball. It's a curveball, but it's really not a 12-6 and more of a slurve. And then he'll throw that harder one. So it's 2 pitches, but it's the same break.
Both of them been breaking balls, and Curtis Granderson, we talked about a little bit early in the pregame, 4 home runs in the last 6 days, and most, if not all of them, have been away, where he was able to kind of hook the ball and extend it. Last time up, fastball's in, and again goes back in with the fastball, away with the breaking ball. Totally different way of pitching Granderson tonight than there was last night.
He's got it all. Base full of ice cream, he's just got a baseball. Inside.
Doesn't even care where it's going. Just get it somewhere near my mouth.
Going to be chalking all over that ball here in a second.
Got on the tip of his nose, too. The 2-2. Tries to pull an outside pitch. And Moreland tags him on the way by, and that will do it. But on Eduardo Nunez's 24th birthday, makes a wish, blows out the candles, and hits a home run. A solo shot. He gives his thanks, and the Yankees do as well. It's 4-4 after 4. Now open for the 2011 All-Star Game in Phoenix. Help send your favorite New York Yankees to this year's All-Star Game by voting up to 25 times at Yankees.com. Cast your ballot now for your 2011 All-Stars. Vote early, vote often. Vote today at Yankees.com. Here's Josh Hamilton to start off the 5th inning. And a hot shot to short under the glove of Nunez. Played that to the side. And he just hasn't been real consistent at shortstop this year. And we'll see how they score that. That should be an E6. That's a play he has to make.
Yeah, he got to it. As you said, Michael, he played it off to his side. He's got 6 errors.
And it is scored an E6, Al.
Yeah. Very tough hop, but get in front of it at least. It'll maybe bounce off your body. Got a shot at fielding it. He just had a late reaction to the play.
So many people today in the newspapers taking huge leaps. Maybe the Yankees could be better, this and that, with this configuration, and you see the Kia scoreboard 4-4. But one thing that people take for granted, and I don't think it should be taken for granted, if you hit a ball at Derek Jeter, it's an out. Now, he might not have the range of other shortstops, but if you hit a ball at him, and that's important on a team that's trying to win a pennant, he will make the out. That's a ball that Derek's going to make the out. Now, he might not make the play up the middle. That's going to open everybody's eyes. But the balls that hit at him, he's going to make.
Steady, consistent. You're exactly right, Michael. And yeah, of course, when you get a little older, your range left and right in any sport, your movement is limited. But very still as good as anybody at shortstop. Ball hits him, as you say. Derek still makes the play.
Michael Young has hit safely in his last 17 road games against the Yankees. It's the longest streak for any player since Alex Rios did the same length in the 3 years, 2006 to 08. The 3-0. And he walks Michael Young.
Michael, question about Thursday starter. Now, we don't know whether it's Gordon and we don't know whether it's Noesi, right?
Right.
So if Noesi pitches, starts Thursday, do you still add Gordon to the roster?
It's a great question, because I was told today by our very own Jack Curry that the way he could opt out was if he is start for another team. He opted out. So, and it also has to be on the 25-man roster. Gordon. So I don't know how that's going to work, Paul. Well, my gut is it's still going to be Gordon, because even if Noesi doesn't pitch tonight, I think that Joe Girardi really likes Noesi out of the bullpen, because he said, and there's Noesi warming up, if he's throwing right now, he's not pitching tomorrow.
Kind of answers our question.
Because Joe said on WB Mason Presents the Joe Girardi show on Sunday, he said, I'm going to look at Noesi as a 2-inning guy out of the bullpen, not as a long guy. So that means he likes what he sees out of him out there. The 0-1. Buzzed him inside. Count 1-1.
Well, Noesi, he certainly does. 4 relief appearances, 1.76 ERA in 15 innings. He has a shot to maybe shorten that. Now you have a different look, as opposed to the 3-4 inning stints, as he did his major league debut, 4 innings scoreless innings.
You see a Nova today. It seems to me that he has a good curveball, but it hasn't been consistently good.
You know what? I think for Nova and any young pitcher, when you lose command, as he's done tonight, he's battled, no question about it, trying to get through this, is that you end up hoping, you guide it, you aim it.
Popped up, shallow center. Granderson. Looks like he lost the ball for a moment, but put it away for the first out.
You know what, Mike? I think the wind is a little bit stronger than it looks on the flags, because the previous fly ball to Andrew Jones, he ran in and eventually had to run a little harder to get the ball.
Also, I wonder, Paul, is this the time of the night that's a little difficult to see, or is it dark enough?
You know, it looks like it's past that time. It's dark, but you know, once in a while as a center fielder, you'll freeze and then you'll kind of take off knowing where it is, and as you take off, you take your eye off the ball and you can't find it again really quick.
Nelson Cruz fouls it back.
Now, velocity-wise, Paul, he's still maintaining plus fastball with the 93, 94, touched some 95s.
Grounded foul.
Because when he throws his curveball, unlike any major league pitcher, the guys will hit 95 or better if they know it's coming. But when he snaps the curveball, throws it for strikes, he's got the shorter breaking ball with that slider, curveball slider combination. You can't roll it, you got to throw it.
Grounded foul.
That was a little better there.
We talked about Cruz being kind of in a slump, came into the game 2 for his last 25, but you still see 15 home runs. He hasn't even hit his stride yet this year. It just shows you how strong he is, and it looks like he's really in that full mode as a hitter right now. Times when you use that high fastball and the hitter lays off, then you can use that high curveball because it's just kind of the same eye view, and that's the one that you give up on as a hitter.
Time's called.
It's kind of irritates you a little bit, Al, right before you.
Kevin Youkilis with a home run as Boston leads Tampa Bay 3-0. That's in the top of the 7th. Red Sox had their 9-game winning streak snapped last night by Tampa Bay. Let's see if they can turn 2. There's one. And a nice backhanded scoop by Teixeira for the number 2. 6-4-3 in the 5th. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 man left. We're halfway through. It's 4-4 here at the stadium. The Wednesday game of the week is presented by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's a 4-4 game. Teixeira, A-Rod, and Cano against Holland. And there's a strike. Teixeira with a bullet home run to left in the 1st inning, a 2-run shot on the Kia scoreboard. 4-6-0 Texas, 4-5-1 Yanks. Count 1-1. shallow left. Josh Hamilton will make the play. 1 out.
Wow, you know when you get away with a pitch that should have been really hit, and you know Mark Teixeira hit a home run in the first inning, so you know he's feeling good at the plate. You see this is kind of a high hanging breaking ball. Mark Teixeira right on it. You see his reaction, just missed it.
Yeah, there's definitely pitches that are thrown by a major league pitcher. When you let it go, you say, oh boy, I hope he pops up. I hope he's out in front a little.
Here's Alex Rodriguez. And the pitch outside. 1-0. Count 2-0.
Mike, we just did the Indians series, and you just have the feeling that the Indians, they come in here in first place. They've lost that now, but you just had the feeling that they're not a good enough team to be there. And you have the feeling about the Texas Rangers that they are. And last year they showed it. This year, I mean, they've got good arms. They've got guys that haven't even come around offensively. You just know that this team is put together to win a world championship, not just to compete in the Western.
Count 3-1. Well, I think we were both, and Kenny as well, kind of disappointed by the way Cleveland looked. They did not look like a contending team. Last 17 games, a very, very weird split. They were red hot at 8-1. Last 8, they're 2-6. Still trying to find themselves, but the American League West is not the strongest division in baseball, so they have some time to straighten things out as Alex walks.
Well, I think there's no question the way they started out. And yes, Michael, the American League Central is not one of the stronger divisions. I think it's still a nice baseball story. I don't know if they're going to be able to hold up.
Well, they're ahead of schedule. I mean, they'll be disappointed if they don't contend. But they thought they were going to contend in 2013. So this is 2 years ahead of schedule before all of their young players arrive from the minors. They've done a nice job. And I just don't think a lot of people expect them to hang there. Here's Robinson Cano. Singled in the first, stole second, and then grounded to second in the third. Count 1-0. Grounded softly to second. They can't tag A-Rod, so they just take the out at first. So Alex advances to second, and they're 2 away.
Well, Kinsler makes a decision to try to get that out, and Alex got by him quick enough. And after he gets by him, probably easier to just take that out at first base and try to wheel and hurry up and throw it to second. Good job by Alex by avoiding the tag.
Not a bad decision, though. I mean, don't you want to get the lead runner?
Yeah, he didn't feel comfortable just doing a little pivot, throw him to the lead runner. Absolutely. A little base hit up the middle here is a run score. Got the potential go-ahead run.
There's Andrew Jones. Walked in, grounded to second. Goes to the mound to talk. Count 1-0. Breaking ball strike.
Andrew Jones 2 for 5. Not much of a history against Derek Holland. Walked his first at bat. Ground ball to second. 90 pitches. You're getting up to a pitch count now for Derek Holland. It might be close to his last inning.
Andrew Jones back in his younger days, and we're seeing they're kind of wasting those fastballs to get to the curveballs to throw strikes. I mean, was there a better fastball hitter early in his career than Andrew Jones in the National League when you were pitching?
Is Gary Sheffield count?
I think he was over here by then, but I tell you what, yeah, Gary Sheffield, he could turn on anything. You're right. Andrew Jones, boy, he walked up to got in the batter's box,
swinging too early in the count, pulled everything. But there's a perfect example of what Paul's talking about. Fastball way out of the zone, tried to get a curveball strike. Another fastball in the zone, comes back with a changeup. Pitching almost in a way to pitch around him, make him hit at his pitch or go after Nunez.
Grounded through for a base hit. Alex Rodriguez rounds third. Here comes Hamilton. Here's the throw. Here's the play. He's safe. Good slide by Alex Rodriguez. Andrew Jones loses second on the throw, and the Yankees lead 5-4.
Well, he got to that fastball, and he left it in the zone. Andrew Jones drives it into the hole. Josh Hamilton, good arm. Makes a good throw. But, Michael, you know what caused this run? It was that decision Eden Kinsler made by letting Alex Rodriguez get to second base, and he scores on a single. Good base running by Alex. Right call's made. Close play at the plate.
Very close, but he did get in.
That was a lot closer than I thought when it was hit. And no question about it, Ian Kinsler's decision not to get the force out at second. Alex busted along. Hamilton, not your typical left-handed left fielder's arm. Nice shot. Look at that.
Key to getting a secondary lead, knowing there's 2 outs, that you are anything hits, you're going to try to score. So you don't have to rely on the third base coach. You don't have to do anything. You get yourself an angle where you can cut third base really good. Alex did textbook right there. A step here, a step there, rounding that base, and he's out at home plate.
Secondary lead, so important.
Eduardo Nunez takes a fastball high. Boy, if the Rangers end up losing this game, the writers will descend upon Kinsler and go, okay, why? Now, obviously, we know why. He's going for the double play. But why not just go to second base to get the out for sure? Pitch is low. Alex Rodriguez with that run scored now has 1,799, and that ties Ted Williams for 16th place on baseball's all-time run scored list. Nice name to be connected to.
Say, when you start tying records with Ted Williams, well, you've done something.
We'll keep going. Plenty more years for Alex. Talking about the secondary lead that Alex had to help him score to left. What's the big secondary lead here? Andrew Jones, 1, 2, 3, about a third of the way down.
What you try to do ideally as a base runner is you hop, you jump that lead, and you want to be leaning forward to third base. And you see, Andrew, you don't want to do it too quick right there. And right when it's in the hitting zone, you're going. And that's going to give you an opportunity, even if a hard hit ball to the outfield, to score. Get caught flat-footed, it's much harder to get going and try to score.
Small nuance of the game, but important little things like that. Kinsler throwing a long base, 2 outs, get a big secondary lead, scoring, bang bang play at home.
2-2. Still 2-2. Here's the play that set up the runner in scoring position.
Plenty of time. He's probably about 20 feet or so. Back up to a little spin move. Go on the outside outfield part of the second base.
2-2. Pop back here. And out of play.
He's fighting it off. Good at bat again from another Yankees hitter in the lineup today. This has been a battle. Oh, Torrealba saying to Andrew Jones, cut it out. Giving him location. Irvin Torrealba is saying something to Andrew Jones.
There's a lot of things you can do as a hitter, as a runner, to try to see. I tell you what he was saying, but it's in Spanish, so we can't help you. Sometimes when you see a guy really lean one way or the other, or hands on your knees, or trying to get location, a million different things to do, but most of the time pitchers are so paranoid now. I hate to say that when you're up here, but it doesn't happen as much as pitchers and catchers think it does.
Missed outside.
Or did he?
Well, he set up in, and just where he caught it, Mike Winters, the home plate umpire, maybe it was about presentation.
Sometimes if the catcher thinks you give him location, he'll tell the pitcher, I'll set up outside, let the guy lean over, and then I'll pitch it inside. That was way inside, so Nunez walks.
So I'm glad you said it, Paul, because I don't have a problem with that at all. As a pitcher, just like guys that have dumb signs, if it, first sign after two, your multiple signs with the runner at second base, that's your fault. I had relievers on the teams that I was on that if they shook, just give me one sign. And then you're going to be mad that the runner at second base is giving the sign? You got to be a little more creative.
Yeah.
And if you're setting up early as a catcher, setting up in or away, and the runner at second baseman's got enough time, that to me is gamesmanship between the lines. Where I think it's cheating is if it's from the dugout or even the coach's box. If they're looking in and giving signs or whistles and stuff like that. That to me is not right.
Here's Cervelli. Chases a high fastball. I mean, I've heard stories that Roger Clemens was so paranoid that he'd call the whole game himself. He did not want the catcher to put down a sign. He would call it.
He did. And he had signs like touching his glove, his hat, his leg. And you're right, Paul. Pitchers are paranoid, and they think that everybody's got their signs.
The 0-1.
The funny thing about, you said Clemens was paranoid. I mean, in his glory days, you could know what was coming. You weren't going to hit it anyway. He was that good. But, he didn't want anybody to have any kind of advantage.
The other day when Bartolo Colon, before he got hurt, let's say he threw 90 pitches, 89 were fastballs. And they knew they were going to be, they threw one slider. So sometimes you can know, and it's so good, and it's right there. That one is looped into right center field, a base hit. Andrew Jones will score. Nunez going to third. He's out. Good throw, but the run scores, and the Yankees now lead 6-4. A big base hit for Cervelli, who's a .357 hitter, with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. You see Nunez trying to advance to third, making the third out, but not before the Yankees scored 2. Well, the final out of the inning was made by Eduardo Nunez at third.
Yeah, I don't know if it's bad base running or a smart play by the center fielder, but Nunez, you got to know that Andrew Jones, there's no play at him at home plate. You got to realize that the play is going to be on him. It's an aggressive play. Didn't work out. Don't make the third out at third base. Isn't that the old rule?
Third out or first out. You can make the second out, but not the third out or the first out. Andrew Jones' run did count, so 6-4 Yankees lead as we go to the sixth. There's a strike to Moreland. Moreland is a guy who really benefited from the Rangers last year getting Cliff Lee. Now, the Rangers obviously did because they went to the World Series with Lee. But one of the players that the Mariners got in the deal was Justin Smoak. And Justin Smoak was definitely going to be the first baseman of the future for the Rangers. And Moreland didn't know where he fit. Well, they liked Moreland so much that they felt that they could deal Smoak and get Cliff Lee, and it worked out really very well because Moreland has done great things for the Rangers so far, and there he leads up the sixth inning with a single.
I'll tell you what, that ball was hit hard too. The ball was away. Such a good thing to see a lefty that has got power that will still take that ball away to left field. You see that ball just running away. It's a picture perfect swing right there.
The thing about Moreland too, Michael, is he was an outfielder at Mississippi State. They drafted him as a pitcher, but there was some question within the organization as to whether to make him a pitcher. I think they made the right decision.
Pitch outside to Torrey Alvin, the count 1-0.
Did you do anything other than pitch in high school? Just pitching only?
Oh, I was a pitcher.
That's it? No outfield, no first base?
That one's grounded to short. They go to second one. That's all they'll get.
I was as a DH.
Was in high school?
I could rake. I forget who it was. We had a batting cage on the side of my house, and I have 5 older brothers, and a couple of the minor league managers used to come up and they said, "What exactly did the Leiter brothers do in that batting cage?" Because none of you can hit.
Worked on your stuff.
I guess we were in batting cage pitching. Didn't make sense.
Who was the best hitter of all the brothers, Al?
Kurt.
Yeah?
Yeah. Went to Oklahoma State. Started the whole baseball Leiter experience, I guess.
Now,
Mark.
I've heard from people, and no knock on you or Mark, who made it to the big leagues, that Kirk had the best stuff and got hurt.
He did.
He would have been just a great, great pitcher.
He actually got hurt his junior year in high school in a car accident that kind of cost him a draft pick. He ended up going to Oklahoma State and was never the same.
The 0-1. Deep drive left center. Long run for Granderson, and he hauls it in. Covering a lot of ground for the second out.
Granderson plays a pretty shallow center field, but you see some air under this ball, which gives him the time to run it down. Good play out in left center field.
Well, that's going to do it for Nova. How about that? 5 2/3 innings. And they're going to call on Luis Ayala. Nova leaves. He has a chance to win. Come on back.
Which of these upcoming interleague matchups are you looking forward to seeing the most? And here's how you voted. Cubbies, of course. Wrigley Field. A lot of history has gone on in Wrigley Field.
Did you like playing at Wrigley Field?
Oh, if the wind's blowing out, there's not a better place in the world to be a hitter.
Well, Joe Girardi makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T. He did not want Nova to face Kinsler again, so he will bring on Luis Ayala. Those are the numbers on Ayala. They're very good. 17 hits and 20 in the third, 7 walks and 16 strikeouts. Kinsler against Nova was 2 for 2. Stolen base, home run, 2 runs scored, and a ribby, and he also walked. So with a runner on first and 2 outs, Girardi said enough. 14 of Ayala's 16 appearances this season have been scoreless. Count 2-0.
Well, with the loss of Jabba Chamberlain, and who knows with Rafael Soriano, certainly Luis Ayala is getting an opportunity to climb up that depth chart. David Robertson, the setup guy for Mariano. 7 years in the big leagues, a veteran guy. He's been around Washington, Montreal, came up to the big leagues, Mets, Minnesota, Florida, been around.
Boone Logan warming up. Josh Hamilton lurking. You don't want your reliever to come in because you could say, hey, Nova could have done that. So now first and second with 2 men out, and Elvis Andrus comes up.
That either had a lot of movement on it, or I can't imagine how Cervelli got crossed up.
It looked like he was almost, I agree, it looked like he was almost crossed up on this pitch.
3-0 fastball down the middle. What's Cervelli here? Wow, that's either serious movement, might have even been a strike.
There's a strike. Count 1-1. Andrews tonight walked and scored in the first, grounded to third in the third, and flied to left in the fourth. Grounded foul.
Back-to-back outings for Ayala. Last night he 1-2-3 inning, struck out Hamilton looking, ground ball to Young, and fly out to center from Adrian Beltre.
Cervelli continuing to show up behind the plate. Russell Martin trying to get his back right, but no DL for Martin.
It's an important pitch in the game, but it's really important because now you're in the Yankee bullpen, and this is a part of the game that Joe Girardi is going to have to figure out, other than the 8th and the 9th. You have Robertson and Mariano. Joe Girardi is going to have to try to figure out how he can get to those guys when he has two like he does here.
Joe Girardi out on the field today at about, I'd say, 10-2 with his son Dante. Throwing batting practice. Boy, that kid can hit. It's unbelievable.
Right.
Joe said he's a better hitter than I was.
Is he 11 already, or just at that age?
I don't know. The 1-2. Hot shot up the middle. It's a base hit. Torey Alba rounds third. He's coming home. The throw is in time. A good tag by Cervelli and a great throw by Curtis Granderson. And that'll end the inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors and 2 men left. A 1 hopper and a great tag by Cervelli. And now a business update from our friends at the Fox Business Network. Be out. He got in on a great throw by Granderson and a funky block of the play by Cervelli.
You know, an absolutely perfect throw. 1 hopper strike, but Cervelli does a good thing there. And you've heard so much controversy lately after the injury to Posey out in San Francisco. He still blocks the plate, but so many good things happen here. You see Granderson hesitate, so he had all his weight going towards the throw. Didn't get caught in a short hop. Made a tremendous throw to home plate.
Well, you mentioned the Buster Posey incident where he ended up breaking his ankle. I thought Cervelli had enough of the plate covered, and you see Torrealba decided to go way outside. Nothing tricky about it. Obviously, he's not the fastest guy in the big leagues. He's got the plate covered.
Kind of sat on the plate.
It would have been fair game for him to try to get the ball out of the glove, try to barrel him over.
Paul, you mentioned it would have been hard for him to get hurt because he had all of his weight going back, Cervelli.
Yeah, once you catch the ball, if you get off of your spikes and you kind of give with the fall, I mean, you still get hit, but you know, you're tipping over with the guy. Mike Scioscia was the best at it.
Pena fouls it back. Cadillac scoreboard, 6-4 Yanks.
You know, you talk about Mike Scioscia probably being the best at it, and the best at taking out a catcher, in my mind, looking back, was probably Winfield. I mean, his stature itself was something, but he used to come in and he got his knees up to the point where, you know, he was hammering catchers, shoulders, face. I mean, if you were going to block the plate, it was going to cost you.
We were talking to Yogi about it, and Yogi said, you know, he would give enough of the plate that if you wanted to slide, you could get in. He said, I would never block. You see Mark Lowe, the new Ranger pitcher, and his numbers in relief of Derek Holland. He said, I'll give them a little bit of the plate that they can get in. He goes, but then if they're looking for a collision and I got the ball, he goes, I'm going to tag him in the teeth with the ball. He said, then I won't want to have a collision in him. There's a strike. I guess Yogi had a little bit of an edge.
Tough. Well, it'll be interesting to see how baseball, if there is any legs to this situation with the possibility of making some rule to protect the catchers. I think it's pretty hard.
Do you wonder if Torrealba didn't flatten Cervelli because it's almost like a fraternity in catching?
You would think, right?
No, I don't know. You know, I was almost thinking if the on-deck guy, it's his job to get in the position, whether to tell him to get down or not. And as a runner, you don't know how close it's going to be. But there was nowhere to go there. I mean, Cervelli had the plate covered.
Your decision coming down the third base line has to be made where?
Well, I mean, but see right here, you've lost the sight of the ball. You've lost sight of everything, your thing. And I'm looking back behind him. It looked like the on deck there was still back there. You've got to pick up somebody. And if somebody's telling you to get down early when you're 10, 15 feet from the plate, and then and as you look, the plate's covered, and you know it's going to be close, you've got to hit the guy.
Yep. You know who's done that a few times this year as a catcher, Michael? Miguel Olivo has taken out some other catchers.
I don't think there's going to be a rule change. I thought probably the most prudent suggestion was from Girardi, who said they should just outlaw it in spring training. Because Joe actually lost Cervelli a couple years back. Elliott Johnson of the Tampa Bay Rays barreled him over. The Yankees were very upset, but that actually unified the Rays, and that was when they made the run to the World Series. They were trying to change the perception of their team, and they were playing very hard in spring training. The 2-2. Kicks away, so the count 3-2. That one's drilled deep to right field. Going back, Cruz, looking up, see ya! Solo home run by Ramiro Pena, and it's 7-4 Yankees.
I'll tell you what, Pena has had great at-bats tonight, left and right-handed. This was a no-doubter. Came in with one career home run, he hit a no-doubter here, but you can tell he's been playing, he's been getting at bats. He looks like a good hitter tonight.
One career home run. That was a bomb. That get up in the bleachers there. Mark Lowe supplying a lot of power.
That's Pena's first home run since September 28th of 2009, 166 at-bats ago. Just called up from the minors yesterday, replaced Derek Jeter on the 15-day DL. And so he was on the 25-man roster, and he's the backup infielder. And he started at third today as A-Rod was the DH. So Nick Swisher 1 for 2 with a walk against the lefty Derek Holland. Now he spins around to his struggling side, the left side against the right-handed pitcher.
You always say you can't figure this game out. And the first inning you were talking about the end of the Yankees order tonight with Nunez 7th, Pena 9th. Both of them have homered tonight.
Well, how about the four of them? Andrew Jones has a walk and an RBI single. Nunez has a home run and a walk. Cervelli has an RBI single. And Pena's 2 for 3 with a home run and 2 runs scored. Count 3-2.
Michael, I do have to apologize. After I kind of told the story that you wouldn't give me a ride home last night, you did walk into the booth today with, like Willy Wonka, with a big old bag of candy for Al Leitner.
Not for me. You've been eating.
Al does not talk for 5 minutes. It's because he just stuck a milk dud in his mouth. It won't open.
You've been crushing the M&Ms, girl.
That was $17 worth of candies for you guys.
Wow.
$17.
That cost $3 in Cincinnati, is what you know.
The New York City exchange rate.
Here's Granderson. He is 0 for 2, hit by pitch, scored a run, has an RBI. All-Star voting came out again, updated, and Granderson is second in outfielders, and that's deserved. Mark Teixeira has fallen out of first place at first base. Adrian Gonzalez took over the lead spot there. But Alex, Derek, and Cano are in first place and second, short and third. And I believe Russell Martin's still first behind the plate. Count 0-2 now on Granderson. So the Yankees tonight, with 3 home runs, 101 on the season. And with the home run by Teixeira, that gave him 20. And this stat is from Joel Sherman of the New York Post. 2 of the 4 Major League Baseball players with 20 home runs are on the Yankees. Get this, there are 6 teams that don't have a player with 10 yet. One, two.
Well, the Yankees, the home runs just blowing everybody away. Now 100 on the season. Red Sox coming into tonight, 77 home runs.
Euclid hit their 78th, and they still lead Tampa Bay 3-0.
Granderson down on strikes for the first out. Join Derek Jeter on the road to his next milestone. Become a Yankees Universe rookie member and receive a limited edition Derek Jeter bobblehead. Universe rookie package members will also receive a Yankees Universe t-shirt, a customized membership card, and more. Join Yankees Universe today by calling 800-GO-YANKS or by visiting yankees.com/universe. Here's Teixeira with that home run we spoke about, 1 for 3. Also a fly ball to right and a fly ball to left. Swisher leads off first. That one's driven deep to right field. There it goes. See ya! Second home run of the night for Teixeira. 1 from the right, 1 from the left, and a 9-4 Yankee lead.
Runs. You talk about a guy hot as a firecracker. Fastball inside, down and in. He has had success against low. 3 for 5. 2 of them were home runs. Now 3 home runs. 4 for 6. 3 home runs.
That had a little sound to it there. That ball popped when it hit the bat. That was a no-doubter again. It's not like the Yankees are hitting wall scrapers either. You know, those balls are just bombs.
This is sit on it, see it. That's a no-doubter.
Look at this guy. Watch this guy turn around, Paul. He's a high five, another high five, another high five. Oh, yeah.
You know why he's so happy? Because I didn't hit any home runs like that. Now he gets to stink and cheer for these guys.
There's a strike. That's Teixeira's second multi-home run game of the year. And he is now tied with Granderson. This is Teixeira, not O'Neill. Granderson and Bautista for the Major League lead. All of them have 21 home runs.
I'll tell you one thing, you know, everybody talks about the new Yankee Stadium being a home run ballpark, and I do agree. Right center field, I think you can hit the ball out a little bit easier, but they're going to go on the road here to possibly 2 of the better, and depending on Chicago, usually when it's warm and windy there, the ball shoots out of there, and they go into Cincinnati. So they're going to 2 other ballparks on this road trip where they could hit some more.
Well, you mentioned that they're not wall scrapers, certainly tonight, but here's a little home and road split, Paul. 11 home runs, now 12 for Teixeira at home, 9 on the road, and Granderson 12 home, 9 on the road.
And the Yankees also have the most home runs on the road of any team. So they're not a home run hitting contest or a home run hitting team right here in the Bronx. It's all over.
Pretty close spread.
Yeah, much different than, remember the old days, how the stats like in Colorado, a guy would hit 330 with 30 home runs, and you're like, wow, yeah, he plays in Colorado. Right. And it has changed a little bit out there, but I mean, these guys, like you said, are hitting them on the road. It's not anything to do with Yankee Stadium. These guys are hitting bombs.
Well, that was a bit of the wrap of Carlos Gonzalez, the great young player with the Rockies. His home and away splits were back when they were the Blake Street Bombers. Huge disparity in the numbers.
Todd Helton's numbers are always been skewed toward home. Grounded softly to third. Beltre gets A-Rod for the second out. Now Teixeira has homered from both sides of the plate now 11 times in his career. And now he ties Chili Davis and Eddie Murray for the most games homering from both sides of the plate ever. That's unbelievable. Just 11 ever. Wow.
Where's a making that?
I mean, I find that hard to believe. Just 11 times. Low deals. Strike. Home run by Teixeira in the first. Home run by Nunez on his 24th birthday in the fourth. Home run by Teixeira in the sixth. Home run by Pena here in the sixth. 4 home runs for the Yanks. 102 on the year.
Lowe's not flipping it up there either. I mean, he's hit 97 in this inning. Slider right there. But, you know, Texas has shown a lot of good arms. The Yankees are in a hot streak right now at home run wise. Home run rate is 102. The next best is 78. Wow.
And you look, Swisher hasn't been hitting home runs. Alex just has 13. Cano has 13. Pitches high. But I guess the extraordinary quick start out of Teixeira and Granderson certainly helped that total. Strike 3. Cano down looking, does not like the call, but the Yankees like the inning. They scored 3 runs on 2 hits and nobody left. The first home run up the bat of an unlikely source, Ramiro Pena. The second home run, not so unlikely. His second of the game. Mark Teixeira goes yard. 9-4 Yanks. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by J&R Music and Computer World and by Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees. You know, Al mentioned when we told you that Teixeira had tied Chili Davis and Eddie Murray with 11 home runs from both sides of the plate, 11 times where they've homered in one game from both sides of the plate. And you asked where Mickey was, and Mickey actually did it 10 times in his career. And how about this? Nick Swisher has done it 10 times, same amount as Mickey. It's only been 4 times in the playoffs, and Bernie Williams has done it 2 of those 4 times. Here's Josh Hamilton. Yankees have a 9-4 lead. Hot shot up the middle at a base hit. Well, so far, Luis Ayala has not done a great job. He's faced 3 batters, a walk, a single, and a single. The Cadillac scoreboard, Yankees lead 9-4. The hits are even at 9 apiece, but the long ball has helped the Yankees.
Josh Hamilton talking to Teixeira jokingly, probably talking about his home runs, how hard he's hitting the ball, both sides of the plate. You can only admire from the other side of the dugout sometimes how guys are swinging it.
Hits to Matt Young, Michael Young is a strike. What hitter did you marvel at watching?
You know, right when I got over here, obviously I thought I can't wait to watch Mattingly hit. But as an opposing player, I could not wait to watch George Brett hit. I mean, I think if you're a left-hander, you always admire left-handed hitters. But I love to watch George Brett hit.
Al, from the mound, who did you just look at and go, wow, this guy's just unbelievable. I don't know how to get him out.
Boy, Rafael Palmeira used to give me a big hard time. And then when I got to the National League, Tony Gwynn, even though they're left-handed, I had a pitch that good left-handers just stayed on it, went the other way.
Kid got a second ball today. Good day for him. And had that whole ice cream that attacked his face. It's all clean now.
What are the odds? 40-some thousand people, and one little guy there gets 2 foul balls in 1 minute.
Strike. Young down looking.
Did you tell me you went your whole career without a foul ball as a youngster?
Yeah, but I sat so far away. I used to sit in the last row of the upper deck behind the plate. So
it's tough to get one up
unless
there.
Unless it was King Kong batting, I wasn't getting a foul ball.
No, that was by choice?
I mean, that was my choice. That's the only thing I could afford. It was $1.50.
Oh, the last row was the oldest, not the second to last row.
Well, you could know. I liked the last row, but I think it was like the last 2 rows all around from grandstand to grandstand was $1.50.
See, now what I could afford was you ballot stuff the Burger Chef Dunkin' Donuts Yankees tickets.
Burger Chef, that's way back.
Burger Chef.
We had a Burger Chef in Columbus.
And
that was
we
nice.
used to go up there and just stuff the ballot.
Lined right at Teixeira. It's a double play. What a night for Teixeira. Adrian Beltre lines into the double play. In the 7th, no runs, a hit. No errors, and because of this double play, nobody left on base. At the end of 6.5 innings of play, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees lead 9-4. We're going to wait for the Burger Chef story in honor of America here in the Bronx.
Thank you. Now join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
Tonight, actor John Turturro sits down with Michael Kay for an all-new GMC Presents Center Stage. The Brooklyn native chronicles his successful stage and screen career, including his rise to fame and his portrayal of Billy Martin. It's a new center stage tonight after the postgame, only on Yes.
Watch that.
How do you like it? Us reading about your show, does that make you feel pretty good?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It really does.
He watches too. He's like, well, making sure you don't mess it up.
Do they do like W.B. Mason redo center stage? You just watch them all night?
No, they just replay them.
Yeah?
They're still
it's not like a doubleheader or something?
Nope. Darren Oliver will take over for the Yankees or for the Rangers, and this is strange. So now they'll bring up Brett Gardner to pinch hit for Andrew Jones against the lefty.
Got your head, Michael. Act like you're really confused.
I am confused. Now, here's why. Maybe we didn't see it. He entered in the top of the seventh inning, played defense, so this is not a pinch hitting appearance. So I apologize, and we did not see that. So there you go. There's your answer. All right, Al, please tell us about Burger Chef.
Burger Chef, they had tickets, the old Yankee Stadium down the right field line, a little bit lower than where you were sitting, and they were free because they were from Burger Chef.
Well, how many burgers did you have to buy to get the free ticket?
No, you just go in and, well, you'd buy something, and then you just get a stack of these things. You fill out your name, put your phone number, and basically the lighter boys probably had most of the tickets.
Wow. Now, I occasionally would go to games through my school, Con Ed kids. You know, if you came from kind of a underprivileged area, which was where I came from in the Bronx, you would get to go as a Con Ed kid. And that would be in the bleachers.
You know, what a difference. Like I said, we had Burger Chef way back when we were growing up in Columbus, Ohio. You know, and if you got a treat or something, you got a free French fry or something. I mean, you don't get to go to a Yankee game.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a pretty good giveaway.
It was great.
Wow.
Cadillac scoreboard 9-4. Now, what year was that?
You know what? And talking about a foul ball, I caught a ball. Ron Guidry was pitching, so it was probably late 70s. And I'll never forget it. My brother Mark was there, and we both reached up. It was down the right field line. I don't know how he didn't catch it. Caught the foul ball. Yeah.
Well, you ended up becoming a teammate of Ron Guidry, and he didn't like you at all, right? There's a ground ball at third.
Kind of sad.
Beltry cuts him out. No, you liked Ron Guidry.
I liked him a lot. No, he used to mess with me like all the veteran guys used to back then. I don't know if they get away with anything now with older guys and younger players.
Much different.
I mean, there was an absolute hazing that went on, you know, once upon a time of just earning your stripes as a young player.
Did you get this news I just got from the Angels? They have released Scott Kazmir. Just gave up on him. So he started with the Mets, went to Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay made a pretty good move, get rid of him and that salary. And he's never really done anything out there, and they just gave up on him and released him today.
The last year on his contract or another year?
I think this is the last year on his deal. Pitches inside to Nunez. You wonder, is that the type of guy to take a chance on, a left-hander?
Somebody will. He's left-handed.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got somewhat of a track record behind him. He'll be pitching somewhere.
Because everybody always thinks that they could solve the issue.
Well, there isn't anything structurally wrong with his arm there. Look, he was the #1 pick, 2002, 15th pick overall.
2-1. And Eduardo Nunez, his second straight 2-hit game. Hey, tonight and throughout the Yankee season on Yes, we're asking you to vote along with us for the Chevy Player of the Game. Text your vote to 58772 or vote online at yesnetwork.com. Tonight's candidates are #1, Mark Teixeira, #2, Curtis Granderson, #3, Ramiro Pena, #4, Eduardo Nunez. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply.
Well, obviously not watching it, Michael, but looking at his statistics this year, Scott Kazmir at AAA Salt Lake City. How about this? 15 innings, 22 hits, 30 runs, and 20 walks.
Runner goes, throw to second. Not in time, so a stolen base for Nunez.
You're talking about Nunez, an opportunity. He's trying to show everything he can do on a baseball field. Good jump. Stolen base.
Torrealba coming into tonight's game, 38% throwing out runners. Very good ratio. Percentage. League average about 25%.
Now you wonder what the Yankees could do in these 13 games and 15 days without Derek Jeter. And sometimes when you lose a player of that importance, everybody steps up and tries to pick up the slack. The last time that Derek was on the DL was in 2003 when he ran into Ken Huckabee on opening day in Toronto. And Eric Almonte is the guy who took over at shortstop. Now Derek ended up missing 36 games because of the shoulder separation. And in that stretch, the Yankees went 25-11, which was the second best record in the majors during that time. So you can lose a great player, and that doesn't mean that you all of a sudden have to go in a tank. You have to pick it up, and the guy who fills in has to do what he could do. And I thought that Joe Girardi gave good advice to Nunez. Don't try to be Derek Jeter. Don't try to do what Derek Jeter does. Just do what you can do. And so far, that's been pretty good. Yankees won last night. They're up tonight 9-4. Got the wave going here at Yankee Stadium.
Rhodes in the game, another lefty from the bullpen from Texas last night, and he's at 18 years in plus service. Tonight you got Darren Oliver, he's 16 years plus service, so a couple veterans in the bullpen.
And Cervelli works a walk.
Got a chance to talk to Arthur Rhodes. We were talking last night, Paul, about the electric, unbelievable, dominant fastball. And now, you know, we saw 88, 89, and asked him, you know, one, is it fun? Because he's kind of struggled so far with Texas. And he said, yeah, absolutely. I still got the fire in my belly. I want to do it. Learning how to pitch, and you get a little older because the loss of velocity has now become a challenge for every pitcher. Come up with another pitch. He was talking about way more than ever in his career just being mindful of location, as a Darren Oliver, who once upon a time had very good stuff as well.
He's a hard thrower. He was originally a starter.
Yeah.
No control issues, but he's kind of made a name for himself in the pen for the last 10 or 12 years.
Well, you mentioned, Michael, I mean, we talked about Kazmir, who's 27 years old. I mean, you're left-handed. Right. I mean, why not take a flyer on a guy?
Well, that's his arm is shot. I mean, you don't know. I mean, they have scouts scouting these guys all the time. But if you think he has even a scintilla of something left, he's left-handed. You take a shot.
He took 7 innings, Mike. Let me throw a word out.
Double steal, and it's successful. The Yankees still running up 9-4.
Again, they're running. When you're ahead, you can take chances. Nunez gets a walking lead. Stolen base.
Rangers now have to bring the infield in with Pena at the plate. They can't afford to give up that many more runs. Pena's 2 for 3 tonight with 2 runs scored and a home run. Good speed on third with Nunez. First base umpire Mike Everett said he did not go, so the count 2-1. Pena at 269 at Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Had 4 homers and 17 ribbies. Had not had a big league at bat. He was up here, but he did not have an at bat. Grounded to third. Beltre's coming home. And they get Nunez for the second out. And Cervelli moves to third.
Well, again, now you see the problem here, and he's lucky. He almost caught a spike. You see right there is the bat's in the way. And as a runner, you kind of hesitate. Look at that again. I think Nunez very fortunate not to catch a spike. You catch a spike in that dirt and your ankle rolls. You see him see the bat and he kind of slows down at the end. Really hurt yourself.
Not much chance of slide here. It's a little wet and muddy. Came up short. A bit short.
And Swisher takes a strike from Darren Oliver. Oliver and Rhodes were so effective for the Rangers last year, but they used a lot. They used their bullpen a lot. And you wonder, were they used too much last year because they're not as effective this season?
Today from some of the Met players about in Atlanta that once upon a time grounds crew would do things to your field based on your team. And they were complaining, the Mets were, that the track was real wet. The Mets would run a little bit. Braves
slow down Reyes
and guys that run a little bit. And I remember that here when Tommy John was in the rotation when I pitched with Tommy, and they would kind of cut the grass in time so that when TJ would pitch, it was higher grass.
I think ballparks are entitled to do that. I mean, look at the AstroTurf fields back in the 80s where you would build teams around speed because you played 81 games on AstroTurf. And Wade Boggs loved a wet infield. Wet, I mean mud wet, to the point where he knew a ball was not going to come up on a ground ball. So I hated it at home plate because, you could hit a ball hard and it would just almost plug and take everything out of it. But, I mean, he was more worried about his fielding. And as a Hall of Famer, you tell Danny Cunningham, hey, I need the infield really wet. I don't want to worry about balls coming up. That's the way that's a little home cooking.
And it worked for Wade. He won a couple Gold Gloves here with the Yanks. And we showed you earlier, happy birthday to Wade. It's his birthday today. I believe he's 59, which is hard to believe.
So Larry Rothschild with the Marlins, he was a pitching coach down there. We had a pretty good staff. They used to soften up the bunting circle, kind of to his suggestion on how the hitters felt about it. Just in line with what you're talking about. But when you have, we had Kevin Brown, who was dominant. Alex Fernandez, Lamont Hernandez, a young pitcher. We had a pretty good staff, so they would literally take a big ice pick to that bunting circle so that, a little hard grounder off this little dirt area here, you got a little thud.
Yeah, I know all about it. There were times in the Wade Boggs era, I swear, that you would take a full swing and the ball would just sit like it would hit a sand trap. It'd just stick right in front of home plate.
That one's driven to left field. Hamilton is there, and he'll put it away for the final out of the 7th inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 men left. We go to the 8th inning. Yankees up by 5. Yanking Nation postgame. Bob Lorenz, Jack Curry, and Ken Singleton. They're back in the studio with a recap of this game and a look around the rest of the league. Plus, Kimberly Jones gets the reaction from the clubhouse. It's all coming up later on the postgame only on Yes. Hey, I've got to correct myself. Because I like Wade, and I know Wade watches the game. Wade boxes 53 today. He was born in 58. He's not turning 58. So I apologize, Wade. I don't want to get you up to that level yet. You're 53, and happy birthday to you. Yankees pitcher, speaking of Wade, is Corey Wade. That's what he's done at Durham, which is a AAA affiliate of Tampa Bay, and also the one game that he had at Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Yankees put him on the roster before the game, and he deals a strike to Nelson Cruz. Hyundai scoreboard 9-4. Yankees over the Texas Rangers. Popped up. Cervelli with a nice play. Long run for a catcher. Tough play to make with that mitt.
Thing is, he's got that mitt running toward you. See the mitt's up. Very easy to push that ball forward out of your glove. Cervelli makes a nice play. Probably waiting to hear if Teixeira was going to call him off.
Here's Mitch Moreland. And there's a strike.
Well, Corey Wade a few years ago at 08, he was an integral part of the playoff team. They got to the NLCS for the Dodgers. 55 games, 2.27 ERA.
I've seen a 4-seam fastball, I've seen a 2-seam fastball, and I've seen a changeup. So that's what he's featured so far. 2 hitters. Important thing, though, Al, we've seen strikes.
Yep.
And that's what Joe Girardi and Larry Rothschild are really looking for. Guys that will come in here, challenge hitters, with the ability to throw strikes. Oh.
Brush back, make sure you get up and in. 0-2 count, typical of getting a hitter off the plate. So something slow down away.
Grounded foul.
Nice curveball too now.
Just added a curveball to that
smooth too.
mix.
You know, there are guys, and you'll watch enough games and see major league pitchers where it's 95 or better to get tattooed. And then just smooth, easy, out of the hand. Doesn't register great velocity. There you go, great velocity.
There's some heat waiting to come in out there. Looks like one of those pitchers that you'll go up and 4 or 5 pitch at bat where you'll see a different pitch every time. Won't back up things, fastball, sinker, change up, curveball. Uses everything he has.
Nice hop there for Cano. And there are 2 down.
I was listening to your show, and Brian Cashman was on. He talked about having to find arms. And, however, whether it's via trade, I mean, this is creative. These general managers scouring the waiver wires and finding out who's protected, who's not, who's under contracts that have a guarantee move to the big league club, as Brian Gordon did.
This is Corey Wade's first big league outing since 2009.
And that could be the difference when you think about the parity in baseball. How many teams are in it? How you find that small piece, a few little pieces of the puzzle. scouting, player development, all that playing into it.
Right. And it's not far. I know it's the middle of June, but before you know it, it's going to be July and the trading deadline, and then everything's kind of, amplified because everybody's after certain people, anybody who's in the race. But, there's only so many good arms out there. And as organizations, you have to be able to figure out which ones you think that will take you over the top. Looking back into the late 90s, I mean, every person we brought in seemed like to be the perfect person, and it happened for 3 or 4 years. It's not easy to do. You gamble on guys. Sometimes they pan out, sometimes they don't.
And Wade pans out in this inning. His first inning is a Yankee first inning in the big since '09. He puts down the Rangers in order 1, 2, 3. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Yankees Baseball on Gas is brought to you in part by BMW, the ultimate driving machine, by Blimpie, America's sub shop, and by Mazda. Zoom, zoom. Well, we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Yankees are leading this one by a score of 9-4. And we're going to see the closer for the Rangers because they haven't had many opportunities to use them. And that's Neftali Feliz. You see his numbers. They're not great. Too many walks. Obviously, the ERA is outstanding. 13 saves, and we're not mispronouncing his name. That's how his name is pronounced. It's been mispronounced all of last year, and he never said anything. It's not Neftali, it's Neftali.
I'm just curious. Okay, that's it, but why would it take a year?
Well, you know what?
We've all been saying it incorrectly.
Hyundai scoreboard 9-4, but you're a kid. Are you going to step up and tell somebody?
Sometimes you just get sick of correcting. You know what? Remember in the old days in the minor leagues when you had to call collect, call from? When your girlfriend or your future wife's name is Neville, and you'd say, collect call from Natalie. I mean, you just forget to, you're just sick of it, You get where I'm coming from, Michael?
I hear you, but maybe there was a Natalie out there that liked you.
No.
How about a collect call from Alois?
Who?
That's his name, Alois. 1-1.
I just don't know. He just gave me a horse laugh.
Alois.
Wow, that's like borderline the girl that goes to the plaza, isn't it? That's Eloise.
Eloise, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't fun in 3rd grade.
Were you named after an uncle or something like that?
Nope. Perhaps.
It just entered your mind when I brought that up?
I have older brothers, John, Carl, Eric, Kurt, Mark. Pretty normal. Alice.
And Al also has a twin sister, Alexa.
Alexia.
I'm sorry.
7 kids.
She has 7.
No. Yeah.
How many does she have?
She has 2.
3-1 is outside, so Granderson walks against Felice.
There it is. It showed the statistics, Michael. A lot of walks from Felice. 99 miles an hour.
Now, in spring training, because they lost Cliff Lee, they prepared Neftali Felice to be a starter. And now he's got to deal with Mark Teixeira. Tonight, a home run in the first from the right side, then from the left side, a monster shot. And he's also done a great job at first base. A little clinic there by Mark Teixeira. Handing out souvenirs left and right, so he'll come up against Felice. Anyway, in spring training, Felice was being prepared as a starter. And there was that big debate. And it's a great debate because is there a real good answer to it? What's more important to a team, a number 1 starter or a closer? And most people think it's a number 1 starter because you could get a lot of people to close, maybe not be top flight, but they could close. Very few people have number 1 starter stuff. But I think that Ron Washington wanted him to be a closer, Al, because he kept saying, well, who's going to close for me?
You know, and also, too, it's kind of the, if it's not broke, why fix it if it's not broke? I mean, he had a heck of a year this year. And this guy, 40 saves. Really, much of the reason, along with Aganda, who was in the bullpen. I know they had Cliff Lee, but their pitching was so much better. And dominant. I mean, we're seeing 99. He's missing.
You know, it's hard to easily you say, oh yeah, starting pitcher. But when I go back to the World Series we're winning,
right,
and take Mariano off that team, we're a different team. I mean, completely different team. He was pitching the 8th and the 9th innings at times. So it's just not so just cut and dry.
Line drive, a base hit. Teixeira's locked in tonight. Picks up his 3rd base hit of the night. Yankees have runners on 1st and 2nd, nobody out.
These are the nights as a hitter you wish you could play a doubleheader. You don't want to go home. Everything's going well. You're catching everything in the field. You're hitting home runs. Seems like every ball's in the area where you're looking. Another ball. That ball's even down a little bit and just rips it to right field.
So here's Alex. Alex has 2 walks today, 0 for 2. Walked in the first, fly to right in the 3rd, walked and scored in the 5th, and then grounded to 3rd in the 6th. 9-4 Yankees were on the bottom of the 8th, and then closer Neftali Felice just getting work. A 100-mile-an-hour fastball fouled off.
But, it's a command issue. Look at this last year, 69 innings, 18 walks. With that walk to Granderson, he's got 15 walks already.
Felice has not pitched since last Wednesday. So that's why he's in there today. That one is driven out to center field. Chavez will make the catch. Tagging is Granderson, who'll move to 3rd. Tomorrow afternoon, the Yankees and the Rangers wrap up this series with a matinee game. Remember that, a matinee game here in the Bronx. Coverage will begin at 12:30 with the Tri-State 4 pregame. Then Al, Paul, and I are back here with all of the action. It's the Rangers and the Yankees. It all starts tomorrow at 12:30 right here on Yes. Here's Robinson Cano. Hey, here's a note about Teixeira, who has 2 home runs today, 21 on the season. The most he's ever had before the All-Star break is 25, which is in 2005. And looks like he might get to that. Pitch outside of Cano.
Been a career slow starter, and this year, he got off to a much better start. Gave himself a chance to really put up big numbers, home run wise and RBI wise this year.
And in 2005, he ended up with 43 home runs. 43. I misspoke. 43 was his career high. How many did he have in 2005? Well, okay, that was also his career high. So I did misspeak. Boy, what a difference a year makes, huh? He's hitting 28 points higher and 12 home runs higher. One. That one's driven deep to right field. There it goes. See ya! A long home run for Robinson Cano. A 3-run shot. And the Yankees lead 12-4.
What is it about closers when they come in non-closing situations? They seem to have bad angles. This is a breaking ball. And it's just a slider that just hung out over the inside corner immediately. Again, that sound. You just know where it's going. It's heading to the second deck.
You know, you think about it now. I saw Alex Rodriguez hit a hard fly ball to center, 100 miles an hour. They're 99,
just a little bit high.
But to keep that fair, you know, looking 97, 98, 99, and that slider, I know down and in is always dangerous. But you think, you know, to put your hands in?
I said last night, when he starts covering the ball inside, and then today shot a couple balls to left field, then you know he's starting to be himself again, where he's not looking to pull balls. He'll naturally pull balls on breaking balls because of the speed difference. But I love to come here and watch Robbie's hitting when he's hitting the way he should, and that's to all parts of the field. Home runs to right, line drives to left. This is what it's about when Robbie's swinging the bat well.
Count 1-2 to Gardner. $12 runs yesterday, 12 runs today, 24 runs marks the Yankees' most over a 2-game span this season.
The funny thing is, that comes, I mean, you come into this series after just being shut out 1-0 by Carrasco from the Indians. And then all of a sudden, 24 runs in the next 2 days, and we're not finished with this game yet.
The ball's looking that big to most of the Yankee hitters. That's the moon peeking behind the upper deck.
You know, you could have given me a trivia question on that. I'd have never guessed.
That was the moon?
Yeah, through the upper deck. We see that again. Oh, well, of course I know that's the moon. That's not the shot we had.
There it is. You wouldn't have known that. There's like some Klieg light?
Yeah, it's just like a big light out there.
Strike 3. And Gardner down looking at a breaking ball. Yankees have 5 home runs tonight.
You know, they've hit them right-handed, they've hit them left-handed, they've hit them off righties and lefties. A lot of smiles in that dugout tonight. Very confident offensively now, and it's a matter of a couple days, which is very good on the Yankees.
Here's Eduardo Nunez. Fouled away.
Well, of course, there's been some mistakes from the Texas Rangers pitchers from yesterday to tonight. Ogando didn't even get out of the second inning, gave up 6 runs. Kirkman came in, gave up 3. And now tonight. But there's been basically overpowering fastballs. The Yankees have been catching up.
You know, it's funny, for the past couple of years, that's the MO. You could beat the Yankees because, you know, they were kind of a veteran team. They can't catch up to the real good fastball anymore. I mean, Felice's throwing 100. Ogando was throwing 97. I mean, they're catching up to fastballs.
Lowe was Mark Lowe in the mid-90s. Derek Holland was hitting a few 95s.
Popped up. Kinsler will put it away, and that's going to do it. But it's been a home run derby for the Yankees. Mark Teixeira in the first. Eduardo Nunez, Ramiro Pena, Teixeira, and Cano. Not too bad. Bronx Bombers are in town. Tonight would ensure them of taking this series, and then they could try to sweep tomorrow afternoon. 12-12-1, leading 4-9-0. And a new pitcher for the Yankees, their fourth of the night. It's Jeff Marquez. They bring him in to get the final 3 outs. And those are the numbers on Marquez. He's pitched once here in the big leagues, and there's a strike to Andy Chavez. The Yankees picked him up off waivers against the White Sox, or from the White Sox. New right fielder for the Yankees. Swisher gets the rest of the night off. Chris Dickerson out right. There's a ground ball up the middle, and grabbed nicely by Nunez. Does the 360 and fires.
Well, he's getting an opportunity to do some things out there, and you can see defensively, I mean, he gets to the ball, soft hands, kind of an in-between hop, and then the arm strength here just turns and throws a bullet to first base.
Nova started, and he went 5 2/3. Luis Ayala went 1 1/3. Corey Wade won 1 inning, and now Jeff Marquez tries to get the final 3 outs. Here's Ian Kinsler, and the Yankees have had problems with him throughout. 2 for 2, 2 walks, so they've yet to retire him. Count 2-0. Crowd of 45,969, many on their way home. The 2-0. Strike. It's open auditions right now for spots in the bullpen. They're bringing in arms, and if you do your job, you're going to move up in the pecking order. There are opportunities out there with the injuries to Soriano, Feliciano, and Chamberlain. 2-1. High fly ball. fairly deep center. Drifting back is Granderson for the second out. And the Rangers are down to their final out. So Nova is going to pick up the win, his 6th of the year against 4 losses. He'll now go 2-1 in 3 starts against the Texas Rangers. Didn't have his best stuff tonight, but got it done. Got the offensive support from the Yankees. And in this series, the Yankees are 9 for 20 with runners in scoring position. That's in the first 2 games. And there's a strike to Elvis Andrus. The 0-1. Hot shot up the middle, a base hit. Second hit for Andrus. And that'll get Josh Hamilton another swing.
Hey, you mentioned that, Michael. I absolutely agree. This is an opportunity for some of these guys that are brought in. You mentioned about Marquez, claimed off waivers from the White Sox. We just saw Corey Wade, Brian Gordon, the Phillies. All low risk. They're just putting them on your Major League roster, finding a roster spot.
Yankees have done well against the Rangers this year. First time at the stadium in April, they won 2 out of 3. Then they went to Texas in May. They won 2 out of 3. And about to win the first 2 games of this series. This is the last time these 2 teams will meet in the regular season this year. The 1-0. The 1-1. Chases a pitch outside the zone. The count 1-2.
And I would say, you talked about it's the last time that they meet. They played extremely well against the Rangers this year. But would this have any effect if they meet down the road in the playoffs? No, because Texas is not at their strongest now. They've had injuries, and it's too early in the year.
Swing and a miss, and Hamilton, nope, they stay alive. Just got a piece. That close to ending the game. So they'll try it again. Marquez bounces it up there. The 2-2. Lofted to left field. Gardner is out there, and he'll make the play, and the Yankees win. Put this one on the left side as they beat the Rangers 12-4. Mark Teixeira with 2 home runs, one from the right side, one from the left. Ramiro Pena had a home run. And the big hop, skip, and a jump out in the outfield. Robinson Cano with a deep drive into the second deck and right. And Eduardo Nunez also connected on his 24th birthday. So everything went right for the Yankees as they beat the Rangers 12-4. You got to stick around for the postgame show to find out who's tonight's Chevy player of the game. So after a tough start by losing 3 straight to the Red Sox, the Yankees are 5-4 in the first 9 games of this 10-game homestand. They win tomorrow. You can't complain going 6-4 after you've lost the first 3. So the Yankees have bounced back nicely from the disappointment of that series against the Red Sox. Well, who else would Kimberly Jones speak to other than Mark Teixeira, who's become a star of the postgame, Kim.
He has. We've done this a lot lately, Michael. Mark, let's talk team first. The past 2 nights, a total of 24 runs. What's it like to be part of a lineup hitting like that?
It's fun. I'm not going to lie to you. Hitting is contagious. It's the old cliche, but it's true. And any time that you can put up 24 runs against a good team like Texas, you got to feel good about your offense.
How about you? It's not a matter of being locked in. I'm going to ask you, how locked in are you when you hit one out from both sides of the plate?
You know, just being aggressive, like I said the last couple of days, just being aggressive, getting pitches to hit. Alex and Robbie have been doing such a great job that there's no one you can pitch around this lineup right now. And that's why you score 12 runs a game.
Paul O'Neill will say sometimes, you don't know if he got it all. On that left-handed one, you got it all, didn't you?
Yeah, that one felt good. Hard fastball in and, kept my hands in really well. I felt good about that swing.
Milestones are crazy, and you now lead the all-time list along with Eddie Murray and Chili Davis. 11 times you've done it from both sides of the plate. To know that means what to you?
It means a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. That's kind of a special list to be on. And I grew up in Baltimore, and seeing Eddie Murray do it a lot. The first time I ever did it, I called my dad and said, hey, I just went Eddie Murray. And it was cool back then, and it's still cool now.
And you, Curtis Granderson, and Jose Bautista lead the majors. How about being tied with your teammate for the major league lead? It seems like one of you hits a home run every night, doesn't it?
Well, Curtis and I have been trying to keep up with each other, and it's a fun competition. Hopefully we can do it for the whole season.
Let's get this straight. He's keeping up with Eddie Murray, Michael, and he's keeping up with Curtis Granderson. Mark, thanks so much.
Thanks, Kim.
Michael.
Not too bad. And by tying Eddie Murray and Chili Davis, it also makes you say, wow, he's done that one more time than the great Hall of Famer Mickey Mantle did it. Mantle did it 10 times in his career. So a lot of things to recap in this one. Yankees win 12-4, 5 home runs. We'll be back to give out some awards.